again. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A clean slate for the new chief of staff. Just hours after John Kelly was sworn in, Anthony Scaramucci is out as communications chief, a job he started just 11 days ago.
We are told that John Kelly, who is the incoming chief of staff, did not necessarily want Scaramucci to be in his chain of command. Scaramucci offered his resignation, asked to go back to his position at the Export-Import Bank.
Fox's John Roberts at the White House, where Scaramucci had vowed to crack down on leaks, ultimately leading to the ouster of the previous chief of staff, Reince Priebus. It's not clear now who will be communications chief under Kelly. There's also no nominee yet to take Kelly's old job, head of Homeland Security. President Trump just awarding the nation's highest military honor, the Medal of Honor, to a Vietnam War hero.
It was as if the strength and pride of our whole nation was beating inside of Jim's heart.
Former Army medic Jim McCloughan rescued 10 U.S. soldiers and tended to countless others during 2 days of battle when he was seriously wounded himself.
After nearly 2 days of no food, no water, and no rest, Jim volunteered to hold a blinking light in an open field to signal for a supply drop.
The president hugging McCloughan twice at the end of the ceremony. He did not interrupt that event with any mention of the staffing changes. One of the administration's top priorities is tax reform, but can Republicans reach consensus, unlike what's happened so far on health care? Well, the chairman of the Senate's Tax Writing Committee, Orrin Hatch, says it would be kind of miraculous to cut the corporate tax rate from 35% down to 25% or less, though he also tells Reuters it would be a major economic boost. At the closing bell, the Dow up 61 points. It's been a record day, 21,891. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Home isn't just a place. It's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, we help keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home. Safe home.
Geico presents a voicemail from your friend, Tree.
Tree here. Just calling to say thanks for letting me crash at your place the other night. Well, on your place. It was a rough night. I had a bit too much wind, and I think I might have broke your chimney, actually. So, yeah. Any chance you'd want to drop off my tire swing? Yeah. I mean, if not, that's cool. Okay, later.
Trees won't pay for tree damage. Luckily, one call to the Geico Insurance Agency makes it easy to switch and save on homeowners insurance.
U.S. just slapping the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, with financial sanctions after a weekend election that's been widely condemned.
The Maduro government of Venezuela, the South American socialist nation, promises a rewriting of the nation's constitution, allowing he and his Bolivarian party absolute control of executive, legislative, and judicial functions. Maduro claims this will bring peace to a nation beleaguered with deadly political violence as people oppose Maduro's incremental power grabs amidst a depression-esque economy. More than 100 were killed this past weekend during clashes with Maduro-loyal forces. Maduro claims the unrest is the work of seditious, pro-capitalist, and pro-American activists. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Tropical storm Emily is battering parts of central and southwest Florida after coming ashore from the Gulf just hours after forming.
We still have a tropical storm warning in effect on Florida's west coast from the Anclote River to Bonita Beach, Florida. That includes the Tampa Bay metropolitan area.
Dennis Feldkin at the National Hurricane Center says rain's the biggest impact, up to 8 inches in some areas. Florida's governor declaring a state of emergency in dozens of counties. Baseball's trading deadline for players without clear waivers is right now, with one big deal to report: pitcher Sonny Gray heading from Oakland to the New York Yankees. Now that they're finally world champs again, the Chicago Cubs are offering closure to one beleaguered fan.
Again in the air, down a left field line, reaching into the stands and couldn't get it, and he's livid with a fan.
Steve Bartman's reach on Fox Sports was blamed in part for the Cubs' 2003 pennant loss to the Marlins, who ended up the World Series champs that year. But now the Cubs are giving a ring from their 2016 championship to Bartman. Cubs owner Tom Ricketts saying he hopes it provides closure on an unfortunate chapter. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Hello. Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast.
Good morning.
Oh, there we go. That's the greeting. That is the Monte greeting. Here's your ESPN 3-day forecast from the National Weather Service. Brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the heating and cooling experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to help keep you comfortable all year long. That's 866-EXPERTS or visit online at chiefbauer.com. 65 the low tonight, 84 the high tomorrow with a 40% chance of an afternoon thunderstorm. Otherwise a low of 65 overnight. And basically the same thing Wednesday. Small chance of a thunderstorm with a high of 84, low of 66. How's this for weekend temperatures? 71 Friday.
Wow.
78 and sunny on Saturday.
That's perfect.
Beautiful. Right now it's 86 and sunny. ESPN Radio.
Pitch in the past in the American League. I've always liked his stuff. How could you not? And Alex, he's a wonderful catcher, man. He's always been good. He's a very good clutch hitter. And both of them add a lot of veteran presence to our already existing good group.
Well, there you have it. Wilson gets the strikeout against this one-time starter in the minor leagues. Takes care of Mark Reynolds. 4 up and 4 down for Justin Wilson.
Need to work on his strikeouts, get him up on representing.
How about 3 in a row now?
He's doing that.
And he strikes out the last 4 batters he faces. A perfect 2 innings of work for Justin Wilson.
They're looking for 5 outs tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
Justin Wilson, the pitch of the game right here. Ramirez on the ground softly. Iglesias will get 1 there, and that's all they'll get. 2-2. On the ground, left side. Castellanos to first in time. Lindor maybe choking up a little bit. 1-2. He struck him out swinging.
There goes the runner. Avila's throw. Tag. Got him at second base.
And his first of this ALCS. The infield is in. Victorino chops to second. Throw home and out at the plate. Big collision from David Ross as he just plowed into Avila, who held on for out number 2.
Dirty Cubs. That's what that is. Even last year, Austin, I kid. You heard their highlights. You heard from Joe Madden, number 1, talking about Alex Avila, the catcher, and Justin Wilson, the pitcher, that the Cubs traded for today. So they've added that catcher they needed. They've helped their bullpen. I love those Tigers guys, whatever they're like. And that's a strikeout.
Yeah, they weren't very enthused about their team this year.
Justin Wilson has 4 strikeouts. No, I don't blame him. Hey, it's the Tay and J Show. I'm Lon Tay. He is Mike Carpenter. Illinois football practice has begun. Jeremy Warner is holding down the fort at Illinois football practice, and he will be doing that quite a few times the next few days, or actually this month. And the Illinois basketball Big Ten schedule is out. A lot to talk about. Of course, the Cubs make the trade. Mark Grody, Cubs pre- and post-game host, is going to join us about 4:05. Jeremy Warner, the aforementioned, will join us at 5:25. A busy day to chat. Carp, I got to ask you one question, though. Just be honest with me. Does it look like I wore a hat today?
A little bit of hat hair. It could have been the wind-swept hair thing you get from being on a golf course as long as you were.
Yeah, but it is definitely the hat. And I gotta throw one back on here. So I've got one funny story that Austin told me when I came in today. He said he ran into a girl that from my home, or not from my hometown, but I live in Philo now. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, do you know Lon Tay? And she's like, Lon Tay? She's like, oh yeah, isn't he the old guy? Nice. So I asked the interns, I'm like, what constitutes old?
Now, how old was she?
I think she was like probably Austin's age.
Okay.
Young. So I am old.
I don't view you as old.
Okay.
And you know what's funny is actually even my parents' generation.
Right.
You know, people that would have been born in the mid-50s and the early 60s. You know, when I was growing up, my grandparents were that age.
Yes.
They felt old.
Right. Right.
This new crop of grandparents does not feel old.
They feel younger, don't they?
They do, because they don't dress like grandparents. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I do.
It used to be a signature grandfatherly, grandmotherly way to dress and do your hair.
There's only like 6 outfits, and you have to go buy them at certain places.
Yeah, like the old, you know how they called old people blue hairs back in the day, right? And it was the hairdo, the beehive hairdos, and the horn-rimmed glasses. No, like, I think people are healthier. I think they just know what to wear that doesn't make them look old. So no, I would not call you or view you as an old person.
And of course, these so-called old people are sitting there on their phones too, their cell phones, so it makes them look younger, right? Just technology involved with all of that. So we've got a busy show today. Carp is in, and as mentioned, you're going to be in quite a few times this month due to Jeremy working, of course, for his website, IlliniInquirer.com.
Lon, we're working out the kinks
ahead
of the big change.
Yes, we are.
And we do have the trade deadline that we have to talk about. A lot of big news, and I want to get Austin's thoughts on Justin Wilson becoming a Cub. I know Alex Avila, that's a good clubhouse guy.
That's big, because they needed that backup. They needed a backup catcher with some experience, and they got that there.
And then to get a thrower like they do in Justin Wilson, a lefty out of that pen, is going to be very valuable for them, and give them some options next year when they decide what they do with that back end of the bullpen.
Yeah, because Wilson has another year of control. Avila's more of a rental, right? Yeah. But Wilson has another year of control, so now Theo has added, and we can talk to Austin about this. He's added Jose Quintana, who has another, 4 years on a contract, and now Justin Wilson, who gives you now a third lefty out of that bullpen. And when you look ahead, and I know Theo's doing this, and this is what you have to do. Yes, they have to win the division first, right? They have to make the playoffs first. We understand that, and they're in a good spot right now after what they did to the Brewers to take off and do that. But you have to always look ahead, Carp. You did this for how many years with the Yankees? And, of course, I've done this the last decade or so with the Cardinals. You almost get to midseason and you say, all right, I'm going to start planning now. Who are we going to be playing in the playoffs? Well, you look at the Nationals with Bryce Harper, and you've got a lot of lefties in that order, and you look at the Dodgers with Bellinger and those guys. I mean, they've got a lot of lefties in that order as well. So that's something I think that Theo thought to himself, I need to add a little bit more to a bullpen that already ranks number 2 in the National League anyway.
Yeah, it is a good bullpen. I know that there were a few implosions that they've had earlier this year that kind of taints it, or at least you feel a little less certain that they're going to get the job done.
Agree.
But it's pretty funny the difference a couple weeks makes.
Right.
How you felt as a Cubs fan after that Sunday where John Lester gave up 10 earned runs in the first inning, and then here you are leading the division, and it doesn't look like the Brewers have what it takes to take it back from you.
Would agree.
That was a big weekend for the Cubs. So we'll get Austin's thoughts on that later. The Yankees, they make a big splash as well. The Cardinals, more in the news for what they didn't do.
Right.
Which is to say nothing. But on Friday, I was not in the show, so Kara's parents came down. They met my parents for the first time.
Oh, how did that go?
That was great. It was terrific.
I know how, your parents are so intimidating. They're so not nice. Yeah, right. I mean, they're like two of the nicest people I've ever met. So that went swimmingly?
It did. It was remarkably natural, very easy. But it was the same way when I met Kara's parents for the first time. It's just a great fit all around, the families as well. So we're driving, and I had forgotten to turn. It was 3 o'clock that we left to go pick them up from their hotel.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten to turn on the show because, and I should have remembered.
Okay.
Because that would have been the first time that people would have been able to react to what had happened. But I have to say, and I know you and Jeremy touched on this, the reaction was unbelievable. It was equal parts humbling and overwhelming.
Without a doubt.
And the general consensus, it's totally bittersweet. Mm-hmm. Because having been a part of this show and seeing the camaraderie that mostly you and Jeremy build up, the identity and the following that you guys have built, it is a tall task that is ahead of me and you.
No doubt.
To keep an afternoon show the quality that the Tay and J Show has been. But to get the words of encouragement, to see how happy people were that now they get 2 shows that they get to listen to every day.
I love it.
It was so humbling, and we really just have a great crop of listeners, even the ones that we get in Twitter tiffs with.
Oh, sure.
Or maybe me more than some. But it really, I can't tell you how much even me as the third guy appreciate the kind of outpouring that we got within the span of a few hours.
Well, and I've told you, I mean, you and I we've talked about this for a month, right? You and I, and even the other day, I think it was Thursday night when we were leaving, it was you and I just in the parking lot, and I looked at you and I'm like, Carp, I know you get it. I know you understand it, but the hardest thing for me will be not to look across and see Jeremy every day.
That was 6.5 years, right?
It's crazy. I mean, to think of that. I cannot wait to do a show with you. I think you and I have always had a fun, unique way of looking at sports and entertainment and life in general. So I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to put a good show together. But it is weird. It's like losing a friend. I mean, I'm not going to see Jeremy that often. I will run into him on occasion. We will still talk. I will be on his show on occasion. He's always going to be on our show for the most part for a while at least. So it's not like we're just never going to visit again, but you get it. I mean, it'd be like taking somebody that's been in your life for 7 years and all of a sudden it's like, hey, by the way, starting next Monday, you're never going to see him again.
Right. No,
it just stinks.
That part will be bizarre. Even for me, I'd come in after lunch, usually an afternoon appointment, 1:30, 2 o'clock. And I'd pop in, and Jeremy would be here at the computer that I'm sitting at right now, and he'd be doing his stuff for the website.
Very cool.
Getting all his ducks in a row, and he has many ducks to get in a row every day.
He does.
That was part of the reasoning behind this. But, yeah, I'm going to miss that, just the chit-chat. And what I am looking forward to the most is if this would have been 3 years into it, I think there would be a lot of apprehension.
Right.
But because all three of us and then the supporting cast that we have here with Austin and Harry and Trevor and so many other people and all the interns that have been just such a great help, it feels like there's such a good foundation that it will be as easy as a transition like this could be.
Without a doubt.
It's not going to be easy, but it is much easier than it would have been a few years ago.
I think it's pretty cool that really when you look at it, when you take everybody combined, I was the only person and am the only person on our two shows now when that starts that would have gotten a broadcasting degree. Right? I mean, I went into college to do this. I did radio, then I did television. I went off into that because I decided I loved wearing makeup. And then I did that for, I mean, come on. And then did that for 10 years. And then, so me getting in front of a mic is somewhat natural because I had done this for.
And that was what you touched on this with Jeremy, that this was the first radio gig he had.
Yes.
I was doing radio in college. Now, if I listened to, and I wish I had tapes of that. I don't have them. We didn't podcast or anything. It was just before that was really going on. But if I could go back and listen, I don't know.
It'd be cool. I didn't realize you had done that.
I started at 107.1 back when I was 15.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
It was a random thing where my sister had a summer internship, and someone that she worked with, his name was Travis Drury, and I think we're still Facebook friends and follow each other on Twitter, but he didn't have anyone to do the show with.
Sweet.
All the Chicago kids went home. And just through a random conversation, my sister was like, well, my brother, he listens to that Chicago sports radio station when he gets ready in the morning. So. Yeah. And before you know it, I'm popping in for a Saturday morning show, and then I'm doing the Tuesday night Illini Drive at 5.
That's awesome.
In high school into college. But there was a break there, and you have this in moments like that, you start reflecting.
Yes.
And for me, and I need to send Ashley Morgan,
Ashmo,
a Twitter message or something. But it all started, and I may have told you this, on a Thanksgiving break, and it was a friend of ours named Mark Montgomery. It was his birthday. So we meet up in this basement, we're pre-gaming, and we took this shuttle downtown Champaign.
Nice.
And I just happened to sit next to Ashley.
Okay.
Didn't know, had not met her before, none of that. But
never heard
as
this
you know,
story.
Ashmo, she's talking.
Oh, she's the best.
And I was in a state of mind where I could be talking to
Yes.
So, and she mentioned Stevie J Broadcasting. And I said, oh yeah, because around town you had heard that Stevie's starting a new radio group. And I said, well, that's really cool. And there's a sports show, right? And she said, yep, we're starting that up. I said, I did sports radio for a while. I'd love to get back involved. And then a couple weeks later, I pop in. So just think about that, though. Like these little moments that if that didn't happen.
Right.
Or for whatever reason, that Friday night, I decided to stay home and play FIFA instead.
Exactly.
Just things like that.
You might not be here. That's very cool. And the point I was getting to is just the growth. The growth that you have had. Obviously, the growth that Jeremy, from a guy that really honestly was just a journalist, and I think still considers himself, number one, a journalist, but the growth he did on the radio, and then you, of course, and now we're seeing that with Austin, and I'm excited to see that with everyone else, including Harry and Trevor, etc. And the fact that these young kids essentially have come into our life, and they've become a big part of our show. So it's going to be fun. I think this is something that, you know what, it's one of those deals where, what are we going to do, right? We're doing it. So we're just going to have to make it good. And I don't think there's any doubt that we will. I think we'll provide entertainment. I think we will provide some critique of Illinois. You and I are more of the fans than Jeremy is, which sometimes isn't a good thing. But I think I'm excited to get football going. I'm excited to get basketball going. And I think we'll have a unique perspective on that. And more than anything, like I told Jeremy, what's really neat is when there was a basketball game on a Thursday night, the first word that we were able to even utter about that game wasn't until 3 o'clock the next day.
Right.
So now Jeremy will be able to do that immediately at 9 a.m. and you'll get some of that. Plus you and I can react and give our, reaction and thoughts about the game. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm dreading that final day with Jeremy.
Friday, August 18th.
Yeah. Because I will be an emotional wreck. I can promise you that. I am an emotional guy anyway. And for something like that, I know nobody's passing away. I know it's none of that, but it's just, it's hard when you have built something from the ground floor up like Jeremy and I have done. And of course, you've been a huge part of it, as has a lot of our interns. But to then all of a sudden say, all right, this is it, man. This is it. Like that is the closure day. That night at whatever time I'm going to say this is the Tay and J Show. And that will be the last time I ever say that. Now, I will mess up, I'm sure, on occasion. when you and I are even doing the show. I'm sure instead of Tay and Carp, it's going to be, and it's the Tay and J Show. And I'll be like, no, that's not. It's not Tay and
But
J
even that, I mean, just
Yeah.
think about, I mean, you say that, and I'm thinking all the levity, or not, levity's not the right word, the weight behind those final words where it's just something that you usually say.
Yeah.
And then there will be this sort of finite, okay.
Oh, we're
that's
done.
it. I mean,
We're
when
done.
you get into radio or let's say sports journalism, whether it be radio, newspaper, TV, whatever, and you know that it is going to be a lot of internships. You know it's going to not be the most glamorous profession. I think some people get into it thinking they're going straight to Bristol.
Oh, absolutely.
But it really is, you got to work your way through the ranks. And there are a few spectacular talents that rise quicker than others.
Yes.
But for the most part, there is this sort of, you got to labor a bit.
Yep.
Now, granted, laboring in something like this is talking.
Exactly.
And maybe having to talk more. Or
Right.
maybe having to go to a remote broadcast somewhere and hand out koozies.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
Part
just
of the deal.
You hope at the end of the day, I think, getting into a field like this, that you make some sort of dent.
Yes.
Wherever
Yes.
you're broadcasting or wherever you're writing, you hope that you do something that people remember, even if it's just a conversation they have 15, 20 years down the line at a happy hour.
Yeah.
And they say, man, remember back in the day when there was that Tay and J Show?
Yeah, I do
in the
remember that
afternoon?
show.
And you know what's cool is that will happen.
Yes.
I know the way my dad talks about Larry Lujak.
Right.
And
Right.
on WLS back in the day. I mean, there is
Uncle
something
Larry.
about radio that you just kind of get to know the people. And I know that when me and you do the afternoon show, same thing. You already know us, but you're going to get to know us more.
Without a doubt. And that's the exciting part for me. Well, that's good because I think Jeremy and I had our chance to kind of let ourselves go a little bit after the big announcement. I'm glad you were able to do that today. And of course, then we will zip it on that and we will just move on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do have 3 more weeks of shows.
Yes, we do.
Jeremy will be here for the majority of that third and final week.
Okay,
and
that's
he
awesome.
will be in Wednesday and Friday this week. He'll be in at least Wednesday next week.
Okay.
So you will be getting Jeremy Warner on the air, and you will be getting plenty of Jeremy Warner on the air August 21st, 9 to 11. I know I'll be listening.
I can't wait.
And, you know, we have gotten a few reactions, too. I know Jeremy touched on this Friday. What about the Dan Le Batard show? Listen, Dan Le Batard, awesome talent.
No doubt.
You can find the national stuff. It's at ESPNC.com.
Exactly.
The big thing is you got options.
Yes.
So if you're an Illini fan and you want that Illini talk in the morning, you know what to listen to. It'll be a great show from day one.
Can't wait. All right, Illinois football is underway. Again, we'll visit with Jeremy at 5:25. Illinois basketball, the Big Ten released its schedule today, and you and I will touch on that. If we like the schedule, we've got who Illinois plays in the home, who they play on the away, and of course who they play twice. And by the way, you play Michigan State twice.
You play Michigan State twice. You play Northwestern once.
Yes.
I kind of wish.
And you don't have to go to Purdue.
Yes.
You do not have to go to Purdue.
Automatic
That's an
loss.
automatic loss every year.
Every year. Even if they're mediocre,
Yes.
it does not. Think about this. We go to Purdue the year that Bruce Weber, his first year, they won the outright Big Ten title.
Yeah.
A Purdue team that was transitioning to Matt Painter. It took overtime.
Was that Luther Head's layup or
Luther
something?
Head. And Nick Smith had a big second half.
Yes, he did. Just to beat them.
Just to beat a bad Purdue team.
I mean, they are tough as nails there against Illinois, against a lot of teams, but definitely against Illinois. So we'll break all of that down as we go along. We're going to do something kind of neat in a little bit. As we mentioned, training camp, I guess we'll call it that. Practices have begun for the University of Illinois football team. We're going to bring Harry in later in the 4 o'clock hour to kind of I just want to ask him questions. Like, do you remember your very first practice? Do you remember what that was like as a senior compared to a freshman and how scared you were as a freshman and even as a senior? Were you scared?
Did you
Not
puke?
scared, but yeah.
And how often?
Yeah. How nervous were you even as a senior going into that first day? So we'll get Harry's thoughts on that. I can't wait to do that. There's big news for Steve Bartman going forward. This will be interesting for Cubs fans as we talk about that. We'll do a Harry Black Would You Rather. We're going to incorporate that into most of our shows going forward.
We have a theme song for that as well.
Do we really already?
We have a song ready to go for that. That'll do in the 5 o'clock hour.
Okay.
If I can talk straight here. Coming up, how about we do baseball trade deadline? We'll end the hour with some Illini basketball talk because they did get that schedule, your home aways and your home and aways for Illini basketball. But we'll end the hour with that, and we got plenty of trade deadline stuff.
I know the MLB trade deadline ended at 3 o'clock Central, so some trades are slowly trickling in. I know Austin just sent me a message that Yu Darvish has been traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers. That obviously has an impact on the Cubs. That has an impact on the Nationals and a lot of the National League teams.
On the betting opening markets, all of it.
Unreal.
That is a huge addition.
And that game that the Dodgers won last night was unbelievable. Down 2-1, they come back and win that thing. The Dodgers, don't look now, are like 75-30 or something.
They're extremely good.
And they've got Kershaw out for what, 2 months?
2 months, but he'll be rested, right?
Yeah, he'll be ready to roll.
But there's something about the Dodgers.
Okay, they still have to prove it to you, don't they?
In the postseason.
Yep, I agree.
Do.
Because some of us remember the Steve Garvey days and some of those days back in the day with Ron Say and stuff when they were really good. So we'll see what the Dodgers can do and how they do as they go along in the playoffs. But when we come back, we'll definitely talk some baseball. We'll get Austin Berkland's thoughts on that as well.
You can always call us at the Jupiters of the Crossing phone line or text the Cheap Hour text line, same number, 359-2255. That's 359 Kawan Garris. Sean Pruitt.
Nifty.
I believe.
Nifty.
Find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. You can also download the WSJK app and get the podcast at espncu.com or on iTunes, powered by GTPS Insurance. I think we have a full house today. We have Austin Berkland as our producer, Harry Black on third mic. We have Maddie Bunton and Jacob Diaz. I think that's all four of them.
I think that's it.
Okay.
You got it right. All right, we'll talk baseball when we come back, and before the end of the hour, we'll break down Illinois basketball's Big Ten schedule. It has been released. We'll do all that next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Buyer's inspection with a buyback guarantee and seller's inspection. No surprises before closing. Owned by me, Aaron Allenbaugh, and my wife Kim, and serving all of East Central Illinois. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
Diane Ducey here to tell you about Mobile Meter. When I'm playing taxi to my kiddos, I no longer have to worry about parking tickets and loose change. I downloaded the Mobile Meter app to ease my parking frustrations. You should download the Mobile Meter app today. It's available on iTunes, on your phone app store, or at mobilemeter.us.
Hi, I'm Dan Moyson, owner of Simplified Computers. Whenever we get sick, we see the doctor. So what do you do when your computer is under the weather? Malware, spyware, viruses, whatever the ailment, Simplified Computers has seen it. For over 20 years, we've been fixing issues others can't. For both residential and commercial customers in the Champaign-Urbana area, call Simplified Computers at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers, simply the best.
It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
Our law enforcement official of the month is Pete Melankovich. And then you said, I want to go into law enforcement?
Yeah, well, originally, not right away. Getting out of the Marine Corps, I didn't want to kind of join something that was kind of like military style. I didn't know a lot about law enforcement. I thought I wanted a nice, relaxing job. And then I remember the day my daughter came home from kindergarten and said, what's wrong with the police? Why are the police turning into bad guys? And I asked her why she thought that. She said everyone at school was talking about it. And I remember sitting down and lecturing her like, that is not true. Like, the police are not the enemy. That's not what is happening. I felt like the calling right there, lead by example and show her, I'm going to go be a police officer just to kind of prove to you that how much we need the police and how good they are.
What'd she say?
She was like, so you're just going to be a police officer just like that? And I remember looking at the wife, looked at her like, well, it's going to be a little more difficult than that, but we'll start the process now, yeah.
Brought to you by SK Exteriors, their website, callsktoday.com.
Hi, it's Jackie Walk with Special Olympics Illinois Area 8 in Champaign. Join me for our 18th annual golf outing benefiting the athletes in Area 8. This event is hosted by the Stone Creek Golf Club in Urbana and will be Monday, August 14th at 11 a.m. Join us this year as a golfer, sponsor, or donate to our raffle. The cost is $100 for an individual or $400 for a team of 4. For more information to register or sponsor this outing, contact me at 355-1750 or email me at jwalk@soill.org.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 3:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent Sean Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change a subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. The trade deadline is today, but the Illini are making some news on their recruiting trail. They got 2 commitments from the state of Florida. The first is the 58th ranked outside linebacker in the nation, Kalen Tolson from St. Petersburg, Florida. Tolson had offers from Indiana, Pitt, Louisville, Michigan, MSU, Mississippi State, among many others. The next commitment came about 25 minutes after Tolson, and it was Jartavius Martin. He is a 3-star defensive back out of Lehigh Acres in Florida. Martin had offers from Iowa State, Air Force, and others. To the MLB trade deadline, the Cubs had filled their 2 biggest holes on the 25-man roster late last night in left-handed reliever and a backup catcher. They got them in one fell swoop. The Cubs traded Heimer Candelario and 2 other minor leaguers for reliever Justin Wilson and catcher Alex Avila. Wilson has a fastball of 97 miles per hour and owns a 2.68 ERA and a whip of 0.94, not to mention a 12.27 K per 9. In other big trade deadline news, it's finally done. Sonny Gray will be a Yankee. The A's will get a prospect package of Dustin Fowler, Jorge Mateo, and James Carpillion. Yu Darvish was traded to the Dodgers. There is no answer on what the return will be. Indians thrived with their bullpen last year, and they added another arm for this playoff run in Joe Smith, the former Cub from the Blue Jays. Dodgers raided the NL Central as well, trading for Tony Watson from the Pirates and Tony Cingrani from the Reds. Nationals are getting Brandon Kinsler from the Twins. Orioles get Tim Beckman from the Rays. In the only game of local interest, it's Blue Jays taking on the White Sox tonight at 7:10. The pitching matchup is Marco Estrada versus James Shields. And I know we don't talk soccer much, but Neymar will sign with Paris Saint-Germain, who is coming from Barcelona.
Neymar.
Scores!
Whether you just purchased your new home or you've been a homeowner for years, the experts at Busey Home Mortgage share 6 essential items for your home's to-do list. Number 1, create a budget. Home ownership can lead to large, unexpected expenses. Number 2, protect your property. Insurance is the only way to guarantee your belongings will be protected. Number 3, prioritize your safety. Ensure all locks on your doors and windows work. Consider installing an alarm system for peace of mind. Number 4, take tax deductions. Make sure you're aware of all the tax deductions you can receive from your move and new home. Number 5, make it your own. Personalize your space to make your house a home. And number 6, save for a rainy day, because although life may be sunny now, it's a good idea to create a rainy day fund. Whether you need tools to budget for your home or you're looking to build, buy, or refinance, Busey Home Mortgage is here with expert advice and simplified solutions. Visit BuseyMortgage.com for loan programs, rates and fees, and financial calculators to help you determine how much you can afford. Apply online at BuseyMortgage.com at your own pace. It takes 20 minutes or less.
The Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Latte, Mike Carpenter. We have welcomed Austin Berkland into the studio. We're going to get Harry Black's thoughts next hour about training camp. Is it called training camp? Is that what we're in right now? Or is this just practice? I mean, this is just practice, right?
I think this is called training camp.
Jeremy's
been labeling it.
Okay.
They had a logo last year. They actually had a stencil that they were spray painting on the sidewalk next to Memorial Stadium. It said Training Camp 2016. So I think officially that is what it is dubbed. And you know, it's funny, we didn't, because of all the crazy news going on today, touch on these 2 new commitments, but I kind of wanted to save that because Jeremy knows the score. This is why it's going to be nice to still have him at ESPN 93.5.
Amen, right?
Because he is a little bit more in tune with that. But he's going to be able to tell us about these 2 new commitments, and they are good commitments and pickups for Illinois.
If we touched for 30 seconds on it, you get a linebacker that Austin said was wanted by a slew of solid schools in Kalen Tolson. I mean, Michigan State wanted this kid. Did you say Michigan as well?
Yeah, Michigan had an offer in, but, I mean, they didn't. They must have not gone after him too hard.
Okay, that's probably one of those, we've got an offer to you, unless these other 3 5-stars commit, then you're not on the table anymore. But still, obviously a good recruit. And again, you know, Carpet comes down to this with Kalen Tolson and Jartavius Martin. You got 2 more Florida kids. I mean, I'm not saying they're living in Florida, but they're doing really well down in that area. And why not? Because Lovie Smith, while he still has a name in the state of Illinois, obviously, he has coached down in the Tampa area. That's St. Pete area, Tampa. You know, that's all together with St. Pete Beach right there. He has coached and lived down there for a few years. So he obviously has a lot of connections in that part, and he's doing well down there.
Yeah, no, it's a pipeline that they need to take advantage of, especially because they aren't really getting a lot of footing here in Illinois.
It was a tough year this year. They did pretty well last year in Illinois.
They did.
And this year, Northwestern kind of stepped up and did their job.
I think there was a natural and understandable skepticism.
Sure.
That, and especially if you're a Bears fan, Lovie was always a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
And the grass is not always greener, as they found out when they went with Mark Trestman and now John Fox. Things are just sort of, a malaise would be an understatement for the Bears right now, post-Lovie. But when it comes to college football, there were questions about, okay, how quickly is it going to be able to gain momentum? I, for whatever reason, and probably completely unrealistically, thought he was going to come right in, top 25 recruiting class,
Boom,
top 20 year two. Well, it's not that easy.
No.
That name is not as sellable as I thought it was.
Right.
It's sellable, but not to the point that I thought it was going to be.
And maybe that name alone is getting you, like last year, a 35th ranked class instead of a 60th. So,
and you know what? At the end of the day, and I think if you start winning games, that's when you really make hay as far as recruiting rankings.
Yes.
Now, we can look at Maryland and say, wow, it's amazing what DJ Durkin's doing.
Without a
for
doubt.
a program that we don't look at historically and say, Maryland football.
Right,
wow,
exactly.
No, we don't do that. Penn State, okay, post-sanctions and everything, but they're still Penn State.
Sure.
That name carries some clout.
Without
I don't get it, but for some people, it works. And
It
James
does.
Franklin appeals to some people, not myself.
Yep.
But when it comes to Lovie, I think talent evaluation and development, that's going to be the end-all, be-all, whether this thing works or not.
Let's hope.
And especially if you look at the templates being a Michigan State or Wisconsin or Iowa, you don't really look at those programs and think what master recruiters they are over there.
That's
no,
true.
They had an identity. They executed it. Lovie, I think, is confident enough to think that that's exactly what they're going to do. I just hope it does translate to college.
All right, it's time to talk some baseball. Austin Berkland has joined us as our resident Cubs expert. We are going to visit with Mark Grody, who does the pre- and post-game on the Cubs radio network. We'll do that at 4:05. But, Austin, let's start here. You get Alex Avila, you get Justin Wilson. Essentially, Austin, you got the two things you needed to kind of plug the holes. So I would assume as a Cubs fan, you're excited about this move.
I'm very excited. I thought it was going to be a little bit steeper of a price for Justin Wilson, and the fact that every team was after him. It seemed like the Astros were involved, the Dodgers were involved, and the Cubs at this point in the game were not going to compete with those bidding wars unless they included an Albert Almora or a Javier Baez. But the way Theo did his operations, this trade deadline was stuff of genius. When you had Jose Quintana to start out with in a trade that nobody anticipated, and then going into Justin Wilson and Alex Avila, that is something masterful. Justin Wilson has been great with that 12.27 K per nine and then a 0.94 whip. Even Wade Davis has a higher whip this year than Justin Wilson. So it adds versatility to this bullpen that the Cubs have not had, even including last year with their World Series win last year. You have Koji Uehara, Pedro Strop, Rondon, and Justin Wilson, two alt, and CJ Edwards, all to take that back end of the rotation with Wade Davis closing. That is just like the Cleveland Indians last year, but this time you have a full rotation, unlike the Indians had last year.
Without a doubt. And of course, you don't have Miller. Now, that's a big difference. Yeah. But you do have three left-handers now on this team, and a lot of it we understand when it gets to the playoffs. And you have the starting pitching of a Lester and a Quintana and guys like Arrieta, if he gets it right, and even Hendricks, if they can keep you in a game. And with that offense, if you can get a lead going into the seventh inning, now you've got ample arms to get the ball to Wade Davis. And I know last year that was a little bit of do we have what it takes to get the ball to Orlandis Chapman? And you ended up doing that enough to win a World Series. But that's what it's about. It's about having guys like Carl Edwards. I think he's been great this year. And now you got a guy like Justin Wilson that can come in, those two from the right and the left side to shut things down. That would be, I think, something that would be exciting. Now, the flip side of this, you got to give up something for this. And you right now have a farm system that is maybe going to rank near the bottom now of baseball because you've lost so many of these kids. And, of course, Jaime Candelario, the next to go, obviously, in this deal. What do you think of that? I don't mind it at all. I know it's great to have that little protection, that safety net, if you will, of minor league kids that can come up. But let's face it, a lot of those kids are in the majors now doing some big things, and you're in a win now kind of premium, aren't you?
Yeah. Here's my answer to refilling the farm system. Number one, you're always going to have drafts.
Sure.
And you can always hit on drafts with Jason McLeod and Hoyer and Theo, all drafting competently. You're going to have your international slot money coming in the next 2 years to back to your full strength. And then plus, once the Cubs get their new TV network deal, whenever that'll be, that's going to be a lot of money. And who knows, maybe the Cubs can do what the Dodgers did to refill their farm system, is just buy bad contracts from guys and say, hey, give us your prospects to, so then we will take on that money for you. And the Cubs can definitely do that and raid these smaller markets. And if you do those three things, by 2022 and 2023, when these guys are gone into free agency, then you have a farm system again that's going to be one of the near of the top, just due to the big market aspect that Chicago has.
Fair enough.
What the Cubs and the Yankees both did during this trade deadline, and then in the Cubs case, Quintana a few weeks back, is it'd be one thing if both teams in this playoff push, we're going to win this year, went out and got rentals.
Right.
Quintana, controlled. Justin Wilson, controlled. For the Yankees, Sonny Gray, controlled.
Right.
Canley, Robertson, controlled. These are guys that are part of a 2-3 year plan. So this is, I think, both cases a coup for those respective franchises, where you spent these years building up a minor league system that had been really bad beforehand. In the case of Theo Epstein, had to completely revamp that. There was nothing there. It was barren. So now you are reaping the rewards of that. And part of the whole deal of building up a minor league system like that is you have the pieces to move to go get the proven commodities. Yes, some of these guys that are in the minors right now, they are going to emerge. They're going to be studs. But for every one of those, Chris Bryant's, there's a Felix P.A.
Yeah.
Remember Felix P.A.?
Yes, I do.
Remember Corey Patterson?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, he was going to be Willie Mays. And it didn't happen. So, I mean, that's the thing. I will take the proven commodity, but this is what's different than, I think, what we would have seen 10 years ago, where guys go and make the move for, okay, Yankees go get Aaron Boone, rental. Right. He had the one hit. He was pretty bad otherwise.
Right.
I don't know who they gave up for him, but it was situations like that where you get those rental pieces and give up those young guys. Yeah. That's where it maybe bites you in the end.
I mean, what would you rather have, a World Series trophy or the best farm system in baseball? Right?
I think everyone will take the first.
Pretty simple answer to that one. All right, so Austin, in your mind, are there any holes left on this roster, this Cubs roster? Is this the roster on July 31st that you think can go in to a postseason and get it done again?
I think so. It's going to be a difficult NL, though, with the Washington Nationals and the LA Dodgers. It's definitely the haves and have-nots, and the haves are loaded. They're at the top 1% of the game right now, and then whoever comes out of the AL, if the Cubs are fortunate enough to make it that far, who knows what'll happen? Because, I didn't think the Cleveland Indians would be going to Game 7 of the World Series against the Cubs. So I'd much rather have that World Series trophy, though, and I mean, they're not awarded in Iowa or in Tampa Bay.
Amen.
So I'm okay with what Theo's doing.
The White Sox, of course, snuck in another trade. They traded Melky Cabrera yesterday. Yesterday, that was Saturday. I'm sorry, not yesterday.
It's hard to keep track with all the White Sox trades. It could have happened a week ago, and I would not have known the difference.
I think it was Saturday. Maybe it was yesterday. But the bigger news for some of our, not bigger than the Cubbies making this trade for Avila and Wilson, but big news for a lot of our listeners is the Cardinals did nothing. As far as we know, unless something trickles in off the old pages here, like the old AP printout we used to have to get. But unless something comes out from that, it seems like the Cardinals have stayed pat. They're not doing anything. I know I've had somebody, Zach, already ask me, Lon, are you disappointed the Cardinals didn't do anything? He is. I think you just said it, Austin. There are the haves and the have-nots. And I think the difference, the gap of that, the gap between the Cardinals and the Dodgers right now is not even funny. And the gap even between the Nationals, I think. And for me, yes, would it have been nice to add to that bullpen? Yeah, that would have been great. Would it even be better to add a guy that can hit fourth or third in that lineup and hit for power? Yes, that wasn't going to happen, though it didn't seem like. And I'm sure John Mozeliak and Gersh, I'm sure they looked under every rock to try to find out if there was an opportunity out there. So the Cardinals stay pat. What do I think about it? Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. I think this team has not proven to me yet this year that it is a team that can consistently win and consistently play at a level that it takes to win postseason baseball. You've seen plenty of that in the last 15 years in St. Louis. You're not seeing it this year with this team. Can they have a good series? Yeah, they did it against Colorado. Can they play solid against good teams? Yeah, they just did it against Arizona and Colorado, winning 5 out of those 7. That's impressive. However, do I deep down think that this team with one move is going to make that much of a difference in the postseason? No, I don't. I don't even know if it's enough to get you the NL Central. The other question is Lance Lynn. Do you get rid of him? Are you just basically saving him and getting nothing out of him? I think the Cardinals are going to try and get Lance Lynn signed for a deal. If not, you can get a compensatory pick. They're not as good now as they were even last year, but you can still pick up a compensatory pick as long as you offer a qualifying contract, which I think will be around 18 to 20 million.
Yeah.
They'll offer that to Lynn. He'll say no. He'll go out and either sign with the Cardinals for a longer term deal, or he'll sign somewhere else and the Cardinals will get a compensatory pick. It's not as good as Lynn, but that's probably what'll happen.
Is that compensatory pick, that second rounder, is
It
that
is.
more valuable than a possible trade?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at it, it depends on who. Here's the other thing that we never know. We never know. The general public is what I mean. Us, guys like us and everybody else, we never know what the talks are on the phone between John Mozeliak or anything when it comes to the NBA, when it comes to the NFL, NHL, anything. We don't know what's being offered back. It's easy for me to sit here and go, well, why can't the Cardinals get rid of Lynn and get a good prospect? Maybe nobody out there is offering a good prospect for Lance Lynn, who they know they're just going to keep as a fourth or fifth starter for the rest of the year and then have to re-sign. So I have to trust a guy like John Mozeliak that he's making the right decision for me and this Cardinals fan base. And to me, yes, you could get a prospect in, but maybe that compensatory pick turns out to be a better player down the road.
Go ahead.
So I'm just looking at Lance Lynn's stats here, and you know what you get with him when he's healthy.
Solid.
Yeah, exactly.
6 innings, 100 pitches, but he's going to keep you in a game.
When you look at the trade market, though, and the starters that have been moved, and Quintana and Sonny Gray, and now Yu Darvish. Now, Yu Darvish is the interesting one, and when we get news on who the Rangers got back for a rental, that will be interesting. That would have probably told you, okay, the Cardinals wouldn't have gotten that because this is not Yu Darvish, this is Lance Lynn.
Right.
But they would have gotten something a little bit less than that. I don't see them getting the equivalent of an Eloy Jimenez.
No.
But like they did for Quintana, who's a guy under control for another few years.
Not even close.
I don't see them getting even a guy like, the package that the Yankees set for Sonny Gray.
Right.
Dustin Fowler, that kid who got hurt at the White Sox game, but he is supposed to be a top 50 prospect viewed by some, a really good pitching prospect. I don't think you get that bevy of prospects. So it probably did for Mozeliak if he was shopping him around even quietly. It came down, I'm guessing, to, okay, this or compensatory pick. They have to know they aren't re-signing Lynn. I think there is a little bit longer of a leash that Mozeliak gets. And I just think as an organization, they are in a really tricky spot.
It is. And look, guys, they're 4.5 games out of first.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 4.5 games out of first. Is it in a bad Central? Yes. Are the Cubs better than what they're playing? Yes. The Cardinals are still in this thing. They're 4.5 games out. They got plenty of games against the Cubs the rest of the season. Now, would an expert, if I had to throw money on the table of who I'm taking to win the division, hell yes, I'm going with the Cubs. But you're 4.5 games out of first, and I've seen stranger things happen in St. Louis.
Sure.
How about when you're 10 games out in 06 and you end up winning the division, or you end up sneaking, as a wild card team in and winning a World Series? So I think the other part of that is that Cardinals brass probably said, all right, if we're not going to get anybody, we're going to keep Lance Lynn. He's going to go out there every fifth day and give us a chance to win, and who knows? Who knows what could happen? So that'll be the interesting thing as we go along.
It looks like the Dodgers traded away Willie Calhoun, who is the 69th overall prospect and the number 4 best second base prospect. He's hitting a 298, 367, and 574 average with 23 bombs in AAA this year. So it's a guy that's close to coming up for the Rangers.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting to get Yu Darvish. Mm-hmm. And now you add him to that team, that bullpen, or that rotation and everything. I mean, the Dodgers are unreal right now.
Best team on paper in a while.
You'd have to be the Dodgers, right? I mean, if you're looking on paper.
On paper.
Yeah, without a doubt.
The Cubs last year on paper were great.
Yes.
But it was best case scenario. All those guys, I don't want to say play out of their minds,
mm-hmm.
but there was something going on with that team.
Right.
And you could feel it.
There's no doubt you could feel it.
And you thought they were going to win the division.
Mm-hmm.
This Dodgers team is, if you're playing MLB The Show, and they assign the offense, defense, or all those different ratings, they're far and away
easy.
Yeah. But again, this is why baseball playoffs are, I would argue, the most fun and certainly the most intense when you get down to it. And I'll be very anxious to see from afar, because if the Yankees happen to make it that far, that'd be great.
It would be.
But I'm just really glad that there's no divisional or championship series match against the Dodgers of all teams.
Ooh.
The Astros really messed up this deadline.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do anything, did they?
They didn't get Lance Lynn. They didn't get a top flight starter. They really screwed the pooch on their postseason with the Yankees getting better, the Red Sox having their dynamic offense.
Maybe they think they're good enough,
and the Indians with that killer bullpen already. I mean, who knows what the Astros are thinking right now?
Can the playoffs?
They're prospect.
Can the playoffs start tomorrow? Can they start tomorrow?
I think this is going to be a really fun 2 months. There's a lot of uncertainty in most divisions, or 4 out of 6 of them probably. But for the Houston, for the Astros, you're looking at that team and thinking, what a great lineup.
Without a doubt.
You feel pretty good entering those postseasons, but it's rare, if I think recent and long history here, that I look at a team with that rotation and that bullpen and feel all that great about their chances to win a World Series.
Man, you got Correa. You got Springer, you got Altuve, you got some studs on that team.
Well, when Correa comes back. Is he back yet?
No, he's not. But in the playoffs, in other words.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, that'll be interesting to go. All right, we are heavy for a break. 359-2255 if you'd like to weigh in. We are going to visit with Mark Grody, Cubs pre- and post-game radio network host. We'll do that at 4:05. We got Jeremy Warner at 5:25. Illinois training camp has begun, so we'll talk to him about that and what's going on with Lovey and the squad. We'll do all that next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Today we're talking about your budget and budget blinds.
People get so hung up on that word budget.
Listen, everybody's got a budget. Budget blinds is all about getting the window coverings you really want at a price that fits your budget.
Right. They have exclusive designer styles, hundreds of choices.
And Budget Blinds gives you expert service. None of that do-it-yourself. The pros bring the showroom to you, then do it all. Measure and install.
What a relief.
That's style and service for every budget.
And right now, during their 25th anniversary celebration, it's the biggest sale of the year with special upgrades and offers.
Explain the free upgrades like the invisible tilt for shutters.
Make shutters look cleaner, more contemporary. Same with the free cordless upgrade on honeycomb shades. No cords. Looks sleek and uncluttered.
I like that. Just call this number. It's easy to remember. 855-BUDGET-BLINDS.
855, then the name, Budget Blinds, or go online.
BudgetBlinds.com.
Remember, budget means getting custom window coverings at a price that fits your budget. And remember, 855-BUDGET-BLINDS.
Offer good on selected products at participating independently owned and operated franchises only. Some restrictions may apply. Ask for details.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Durakan from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days. Mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
I'm Chris Drummond, owner of Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. Since 2006, we've provided the best professional carpet cleaning in the Champaign-Urbana area. At Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, we use the Rotovac carpet restoration system to assure the best carpet and upholstery cleaning service. For just $99, we offer carpet cleaning for 3 rooms or 4 rooms at $29.95 per room. Google Drummond Carpet Cleaning and see what our customers have been saying, or call for a free estimate at 217-722-3663. Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. If we didn't clean it, it isn't clean.
Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay, Mike Carpenter. Somebody just texted in the Chief Bauer text line. Lon just said Lovey and the Squad, which is a phenomenal band name.
I'd see him.
I like that. Yeah. Don't forget, this Saturday, Bunny's parking lot, Lovey and the Squad will be playing at... Okay, there's no parking lot party.
There is this new movement with band names. There's a band called Fits and the Tantrums.
Really?
It's Blank and the Blank Blanks.
Okay, this is kind of the new... This is what...
But what I like about Lovey and the Squad is that it's not like Lovey and the plural noun.
Yeah, right.
Squad is, just it's a singular word, right? But it's
you just
not,
don't know how many people are going to be there in the band.
It does have a ring to it, I think. And you know what's funny about band names? They usually come out of thin air.
Right.
Can I give you the band names I've been in?
Yes.
And I want you to... just real quick, I'm going to give them one at a time.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being awesome band name,
Fair
1
enough.
being that's awful.
Fair enough.
And be honest.
Okay.
Okay, here we go in order. Sagacity.
2.
Made.
1.
Oh, okay. Manus.
2.
Midwest.
Midwest?
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay, everything else is a 2.
We didn't
That's
even play
a
a
1.
show. Okay, that's pretty bad.
Made, yeah.
Civilian.
Are you just picking, did you just get a game of what's that photo game or the game where you have to draw what you have?
Oh, Pictionary?
Yeah,
and
did you just take Pictionary and just take words
No,
from
these
it?
were all well thought out, or so we thought.
Civilian,
Yeah.
2.
Wow.
I don't like these names.
What was Decadence? Is Decadence?
I love Decadence.
Okay.
I don't know. You're all about one just one word.
Yeah, that has been a repeating pattern. Yeah.
Maybe you put me on the spot. Maybe some of those would be better.
The problem is with words. Okay, there was a great SNL skit back in the day where Dana Carvey and his wife are going over his wife on the SNL skit. I forget who it was, but they're going over kid names.
Okay.
And whenever she brings up a kid name, he's like, Bart. Oh, they're going to call him Bart the Fart, So just how you get made fun of on a schoolyard. And we found out, especially when you're in high school and you tell everyone, hey, I'm in a band.
Yeah.
And we were that generation that didn't care.
No.
So they're like, sagacity? Well, saga blank was a word that people use. I don't know if it doesn't even rhyme with sagacity.
Right.
Yeah, but
sagacity. Sagacity's not bad.
No, it got turned around into something vulgar.
Oh.
Manus, use your imagination. That was pretty easy. Right. We didn't really think that one through very well.
No, you did not.
Yeah, just a lot of bad band names.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so Lovey and the Squad, though. You think that one works?
Lovey and the Squad works.
That's not bad.
They did have a hype video today.
Okay.
They got the 2017 hype video out. And, it's funny, Lon, because I don't have high expectations for this season. I'm just happy football's back.
Yes.
But in a way, it's kind of a season I'm entering without any expectations.
Fair
and
enough.
Because of that, I'm not going to get too high or too low.
Okay.
I say that now.
I know.
If they start 2-1 and then the Nebraska game's close.
Here we go.
I'll try not to do that.
It will. All right, we promised we'd talk some Illinois basketball. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to break this down later in the show. But the Big Ten schedule has been announced. I want a quick thought, Carp, after each one, okay? Your home games are Iowa, Maryland, Penn State, and Purdue. Your away games, Michigan, Minnesota, Northwestern, Ohio State. Your home and away. So these are the teams you play twice. Indiana. I like that.
That's going to be a team that will be really good in a couple of years, but he's got work to do.
Michigan State. We don't like that.
Yeah, but you know what? At least that gives you an opportunity for a marquee home win.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it really comes down to when you play them.
Nebraska, you play twice.
Great.
2-0. Rutgers, you play twice.
Should be 2-0.
Should be 2-0. Wisconsin, you play twice. Now you got to go there.
Beat them at home.
But this is a team you should beat at home. So
when is the last time Illinois beat Wisconsin?
Oh.
We'll look that up over the break.
Was Jack Ingram part of that crew back in the day? That could be interesting. But really, and then again, you're home. You got Iowa at home. You don't have to go to Iowa. You got Maryland at home. You don't have to go to Maryland. You got Penn State at home. You don't have to go there after what they did to you last year. And as we mentioned earlier, you don't have to go to Purdue. I think the schedule's not bad. This is not a bad schedule for Illinois this year.
It's not bad. The one game against Northwestern, and it's at Northwestern. I don't want to.
I know.
I don't want them to say we won the season series or any back
right.
But you know what? It will be at the All-State Arena, and Illinois has a lot of good memories from playing there.
Okay, that's fair
Walsh
enough.
Ryan under renovation.
All right, when we come back next hour, Mark Grody, Cubs pre- and post-game radio network host, will join us to talk about this trade for Alex Avila and Justin Wilson. We'll also get his thoughts down the stretch here for the Chicago Cubs. Jeremy Warner joins us at 5:25 to talk Illinois football. It is the Tay and J Show.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me. It's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead. Do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $3,100 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Proverbs 19:17 says, "Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done." Give to a local charity today. Preserve your treasure in heaven and not on earth. God will bless you with eternal rewards you cannot measure. This message brought to you by the Blossom Basket Florist.
The Blossom Basket Florist. The florist you pick.
Napa know-how. There are lots of amazing cars on the road, but perhaps none more amazing than the paid-off car. It may not be pretty, but the price is right. Heck, if you keep that thing running, it'll actually start paying you. Because with Napa Rewards, for every $100 you spend, you'll get $5 off. So keep your car running longer, stronger with Napa Rewards and watch the savings start rolling in. That's Napa Know-How. Napa Know-How.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Live from New York, The Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady. After less than 2 weeks on the job, Anthony Scaramucci is out as White House communications chief, and a now infamous expletives-laden interview he did last week targeting other members of the president's inner circle is part of the reason.
The president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position.
White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders says the president didn't want his new chief of staff, John Kelly, to be burdened with that. Fox's John Decker is live at the White House.
Just 10 days after being named communications director, Scaramucci will no longer serve the administration in any capacity. Sanders suggested the president and Scaramucci both felt the administration needs a clean break.
Look, we all serve at the pleasure of the president, but I think that this was a mutually agreed conversation that took place between several people.
Scaramucci's departure comes on the same day John Kelly was sworn in as the new White House chief of staff, ironically stepping into a vacancy that Scaramucci played at least some role in creating. Lisa?
Meantime, John, the White House not confirming any reports about who might be tapped to replace Kelly as Homeland Security chief. Thousands of homes and businesses without power in Florida as Tropical Storm Emily rips across the state, dumping heavy rain.
2 to 6 inches have already fallen, and another 2 to 4 inches is expected today for West Central and Southwest Florida.
Governor Rick Scott declaring a state of emergency in more than 30 counties. Emily made landfall just hours after forming in the Gulf of Mexico. July ends with another record day on Wall Street. The Dow up 60 points to 21,891, but the S&P slips a point. The Nasdaq down 26. The Dow finishing the first half of the year up more than 10%. You're on the Fox Report. Fair and balanced.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, ADT helps keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance. So you can feel at home, wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling. ADT. Home. Safe home.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Los Angeles and Paris trying to work out which city will get which Olympics. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal is live in L.A.
Lisa, L.A. is officially making a bid to host the 2028 Olympic Games. Paris will go for 2024, according to the International Olympic Committee. The IOC says it will advance L.A. nearly $2 billion to its organizing committee. IOC President Thomas Bach praised L.A.'s plan to host, saying it maximized existing facilities and plans to encourage young people to engage in the Olympic movement. The IOC had wanted to grant both cities hosting gigs, as several other cities like Boston and Rome dropped out of the bidding process, in part because of the high cost. Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. How did 12 inmates break out of a county jail in Alabama? Sheriff's officials just confirming a guard was tricked into opening a door by a number written in peanut butter.
This jail was built in 1998. It's 19 years old. And we do have some deficiencies in places here in our jail. We work on it as much as we can.
The Walter County Sheriff Jim Underwood says the escapees did have to scale a 15-foot barbed wire fence. 11 were quickly recaptured. The manhunt continues for the 12th. 24-year-old drug suspect Patrick Brady Kilpatrick. Former Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio just convicted of contempt by a federal judge in a criminal case over refusing to stop traffic patrols that targeted immigrants. He's vowing to appeal. Actor Sam Shepard has died.
Last but not least is my oldest.
Most recently in the Netflix series Bloodline, but he appeared in dozens of films. An Oscar nominee for the 1983 astronaut movie The Right Stuff.
File a flight plan. Yeah, I'm just taking her up to ring her out here a little bit.
He was also a Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright and wrote books and short stories. Sam Shepard was 73, died of complications from Lou Gehrig's disease. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Dressing draft, huh?
Yeah, we have an idea. We'll broach it here after the weather.
All right, interesting.
Brought to you by Chief Bauer. What's the line? Gosh darn it. Don't tell me.
Trust.
I got it.
Okay.
Trust the heating and cooling experts at Cheap Bauer Service Experts to help keep you comfortable all year long.
Boom, you did it exactly.
All right, sweet. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit online at chiefbauer.com. Getting down to 66 tonight. Tomorrow, 83 the high with a low of 65 and a chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. 84 the high on Wednesday with a chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon as well. Low of 66 and a cooler weekend ahead. Low 70s.
Get the fire pits ready.
Yeah, no kidding. 85 and sunny right now. ESPN Radio. That was nice. For anyone watching the YouTubes.
It is the Tay and J Show. Latte, Mike Carpenter. Jeremy Warner's going to join us 525. Illinois football training camp underway. We will get his thoughts on camp, how it's going. This is day one. Of course, that goes on most of August, and then before you know it, the season will be here, and Illinois will be underway in football for another year. Right now, though, it's time to head to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. We talked all about it with Austin Berkland, Alex Avila, the catcher, and Justin Wilson, the pitcher, relief pitcher, lefty, coming in trade, of course, for Jaime Candelario. That's my bad. I'm just having issues right now. So the Cubbies making more deals. Theo deciding to fill some holes on this roster. And let's get a guy that really knows all about this, Mark Grody. He hosts the pre- and post-game on the Cubs radio network. Mark, thanks for joining us today on a day off, my friend.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. I think it was a productive trade season for Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer so far. You get yourself a top-notch starter in Jose Quintana and a absolutely top-notch reliever who's been red hot recently in Justin Wilson. And, you gave up a guy in Jamer Candelario who, has been extremely good in all the times that I've seen him playing in AAA and through the minor league systems. Hasn't really flashed yet in his time with the Cubs, but I think that it's okay to part with that considering what you got back in this reliever today.
Jamer. That's my fault. I said it wrong. Mark Grody corrected me, and I appreciate that. Can you take...
Well, you know what? You're never going to have to pronounce it again, so that's it for all of us. And you're not the only one. Don't worry.
Okay. I feel bad, but you're right. That's a great point. All right, take me through each one of these guys, Alex Avila and Justin Wilson. How does Alex Avila fit on this team? How does he help the Cubs down the stretch? Same for Justin Wilson.
Yeah, we can start with Alex Avila. I mean, they've been talking, but since they got rid of Miguel Montero throughout all that little chaotic episode, the one thing that they have talked about is, okay, well, we just got rid of Miguel Montero for the reasons we did, but he was valuable in the sense that you have a veteran catcher, which the Cubs roster was void of once they got rid of Montero. Victor Caratini has been fine. He got a big home run yesterday, and he may end up being a really good catcher in Major League Baseball. In other words, he's done nothing to make you say this guy shouldn't be around, but it's just so important with a veteran pitching staff to have a seasoned caller on there. I mean, we're just at the point now where the starting pitchers have gotten comfortable with Wilson Contreras. So it's amazing the process and the time it takes for the pitcher-catcher relationship to develop. When Caratini caught Arrieta the other day, Arrieta was obviously very good, but in between innings, they would sit in the dugout and they would literally scout what they were going to do for each hitter, because that's what you have to do with a young rookie catcher who doesn't know exactly what to expect from opposing teams' hitters, what Jake Arrieta wants to do. And I'm just using Arrieta as an example because it's exactly what Arrieta told me They had to use an extra set of signs. So it's in other words, it's high maintenance when you have a young catcher, and Alex Avila, is an excellent, in terms of just being a veteran catcher. He's a really good receiver, a smart receiver, been around a while now, 30 years old, so he can adapt very quickly. As far as Justin Wilson is concerned, I mean, this guy, he's been red hot as of late. He's a guy who can throw 97 miles per hour on the clock. I said during this period of time, if they're going to get a reliever, and I heard a lot of different names, I said, you got to get a guy who, when they're second and third and one out, you could bring this guy in and he can get strikeouts. That's the kind of reliever you want. That's the kind of reliever he is. He will be the setup guy, it looks like, the way it is lined up right now, to Wade Davis. He's also he's capable of saving games, too. So when on those days when Wade Davis is not available because he's been used too much or whatever the case may be, you could use this guy as a closer. He's saved, I think, 13 of 15 this year as well. So you've got him. You've got Rondon, who's had closing experience as well, and then Wade Davis, obviously, too. So you've got yourself a pretty good lefty reliever.
Nice.
Mark, where does Justin Wilson maybe fit in with the future plans of the Cubs? He is under control through next year, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, then he becomes a free agent. So I don't know. It's hard to tell, the way Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer are when it comes to relief pitchers. I have not seen them really commit to relievers yet in terms of what they're going to do. Maybe he's a guy that they extend beyond those years, but I have yet to see it under this current regime. They did give Pedro Strop, I think, a couple of extra years during spring training, but unless I'm missing something, I have not seen them pay the price in terms of a contract extension for a reliever yet. We know the price they paid for Aroldis Chapman last year, giving up Gleyber Torres, and then this year with the Jeimer Candelario trade.
Right.
So they will trade prospects, but get guys for. We saw them trade Jorge Soler to get Wade Davis. So I'd be curious to see what they do with him. Obviously, it's going to depend on the success he has or doesn't have, but the sample size says that they're not going to throw a whole lot of money at a reliever.
Mark Grote, Cubs pre- and post game on the Cubs Radio Network. You can follow him on Twitter at Mark Grote Sports. That's Grote. The Dodgers, they make their move for Yu Darvish, and I'm looking at this National League, and of course Washington with a somewhat gaudy record themselves, but as we know, the playoffs, anything can happen. If you're a Cubs fan, and actually, I guess from your perspective, following this team and analyzing them on the field, how much more confident are you in their chances in the postseason based on what Theo and Jed have done within the last 3 weeks?
Well, I think I'm at the point now, and I'm not discarding Milwaukee by any means,
right?
But I have thought all along that the Cubs are the best team, most talented team in the division. So let's say we're acting under the presumption that the Cubs are going to win the division. I'm at the point now where I'm looking, do the Cubs have enough to beat teams like the Washington Nationals and the Los Angeles Dodgers? And, the Dodgers just added Yu Darvish today, so that makes them rather ridiculous considering they have an over 700 winning percentage. And I still think that the Cubs are probably a step behind the Dodgers, maybe more even with, like at Washington, I don't get the same sort of fear factor from them. It'll be interesting to see how the Cubs play against Arizona this week, another one of those top-notch teams. Colorado just abused the Cubs in Colorado. They were really good against them at Wrigley Field, too, for that matter. I think they swept them, didn't they?
Right.
But those teams have come back to the pack as well. So really, I'm looking at it right now as the team to keep up with, the team to watch, and wonder if you have the pieces and the matchability is the LA Dodgers. Other than that, I'm not too concerned. But they still have to keep going what they have going. I mean, they're 8 games over 500, 2.5 game lead. Is it legit? Probably. And this is typically where Joe Madden teams take off, and especially with the Cubs since 2015. This is what they have done. Let's wait and see if they continue to do that and dominate and start to become the team that we all think they are.
It is awesome for our show, as always, to get a guy like Mark Grote. He does the pre- and post-game on the Cubs Radio Network. Follow him on Twitter, at Mark Grote Sports. I wanted to ask you about Almora. What do you think the role is for him in the future? I mean, is he a future starter, you think, or is he just kind of a fourth outfielder type on the squad?
Yeah, I would say the latter at this point.
Okay.
Probably is a fourth outfielder type of guy, unless he can begin to, and he has, he's got to be able to hit it. The problem is hitting right-handers. Really good at hitting lefties. We all know that he's a pretty good defensive player as well, but right now, I don't know that Joe Madden looks at him as a everyday starting caliber player, and that's okay because he's putting him in good positions right now in which to succeed. And I know a lot of people would like to see more Almora, but I think that people want to see more Almora based on the fact that he succeeds in the spots that Joe Madden puts him in. And if you saw him every day, the law of diminishing returns may start to kick up. I mean, I don't rule out Albert Almora Jr. as a starter sometime in the future. I mean, I think everybody would like to see that and like to know that he is good enough to do that. But I think right now he's probably more of a 3 out of 5 day kind of guy, or 3 out of 7.
Never hurts to have depth at all, for sure. Well, Mark, I wanted to ask you also about Jose Quintana. I mean, you obviously being in Chicago knew enough about him pitching for the White Sox, but now he's with the Cubbies. What do you think so far? How do you project this thing going, especially this year and even down the road with Jose Quintana, a kid that I think has fit in perfectly on that Cubs squad?
Yeah, he's in the category of pleasure to watch, pleasure to cover. He works quickly.
Yes.
He's a precise type of pitcher. It never hurts to have another lefty on the staff, and you nailed it that, he's going to be around for a while, that he is the proverbial controllable guy. So he is going to be a critical piece of your pitching staff for the next few years. Where exactly he is slotted in the next couple of years obviously depends on, what comes back, what the success of Kyle Hendricks is, and as he continues to come back from his hand injury. Lackey probably will be gone. Jake Arrieta, that's the great question on whether or not he returns, and we know Lester will be back. So he becomes, and that said, and I just went through all the mystery pieces there, he becomes an incredibly important part of this pitching staff. They were lucky to be able to get him because he is like the quintessential type of guy that the Cubs are trying to get in terms of control and in terms of top-notch talent, quite frankly.
You just touched on Jake Arrieta and John Lackey. Obviously, Lackey won't be a part of the team next year. We'll wait and see on Arrieta. But what are maybe some other names? And I know this is premature because we have a season left to play here, but what are some of the names that maybe you would be circling as they enter winter meetings or maybe try to look to make a trade? It seems like a lot of these guys that they get, apart from Lester and I guess Lackey in a 2-year deal, they do get through trade. They get a little bit creative in how they get their starters.
Yeah. It's I will say a couple of names, and I'd have to look at. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's controllable. There's a guy in Detroit named Michael Fulmer, who was Rookie of the Year last year. I don't think he's having as good of a season this year, but I know that name has popped up, and who knows what Detroit is thinking about doing right now. I mean, it looks like they're in the market to start to get. I mean, obviously, with evidence with the Cubs trade today, that they would like to continue to get younger, but that's a good young pitcher.
No doubt.
Is Detroit willing to give up on something like so? That's the type of guy I think that the Cubs are probably interested in. I know Yu Darvish becomes a free agent, I believe, after this year. And I think that the Cubs sort of put themselves in a corner in terms of because they have not been able to develop pitchers that they know that they have to allot some of those big barrels of cash for pitchers in the offseason. So Darvish may be somebody. I mean, they're always targeting at least one guy to throw the money at, and he might be it. But, yeah, you have to kind of look at the middle of teams' rotations with the guys that are maybe not aces, but maybe they have the potential to be guys like Michael Fulmer. And to me, it's a mystery to me because a lot of times, Theo and Jed come out of left field with these guys that maybe you don't know much about, and you're like, oh, turns out he's really good. Jake Arrieta, that type of guy. So yeah, it is kind of wait and see, but it is something that they'll have to address soon. You're right.
Last one for me, Mark. You get the series with Milwaukee. You win 2 or 3. You do what you need to do. You got a nice week coming up here for the Cubs. This will be an interesting week with some solid squads. How do you feel about this team right now? Do you feel like, we've been waiting all year kind of for the Cubs to just take off and kind of take control of this division and finish it. Do you feel like after this series with the Brewers, do you feel like they're on the edge of doing that?
Well, I think and I think it's kind of a relief is the way it feels for this Cubs team because it's almost like there's been a demand on this Cubs team, an assumption of this Cubs team that they'll turn things on. That there was the hangover from the World Series, and they were middling along the way. But hey, the rally cry was we're still in first place, and all of a sudden they fall out of first place by 5.5 games. So I think that and what they have done since the All-Star break has been legitimate. In terms of sometimes you can, if you're not watching every game, you could maybe say from the outside, well, it's competition that they're playing or whatever. But you watch what the pitchers have done, that they have done against these teams that they didn't do against mediocre teams during the first half of the season. It's just incredibly important. We're starting to see bigger hits finally. Maybe still not enough of the big hits with runners in scoring position, but you're starting to see the 3-run homer a little bit. You're starting to see the tie-breaking home runs a little bit more. You're starting to see the things that the Cubs did last year when they became world champions. So, yeah, and I think, this week is going to be fun with Arizona, a good team, Washington Nationals, a good team, both with really good pitching. So it's going to be real competition, and this will be the real test. And I think the idea is to just do what they did in Milwaukee. Take 2 out of 3. Sweeps aren't going to hurt a thing either, but the idea right now is to win all your series, keep your lead, and add on to it.
Great stuff, Mark Grody, and I think we can all be disappointed in the fact that Verlander's not on the Cubs, not because of him, because of Kate Upton, and the fact that you get plenty of shots of her at Wrigley Field. Come on. Even me as a Cardinals fan, I'm like, make that trade. Let's make this happen for sure. All right, Mark Grody, again, day off, buddy, and we appreciate this. Right in the middle of the day, you're kind enough to join us. We really appreciate it. Have fun this week with a great series, great couple of series coming up for the Cubbies.
You're welcome, guys. It was actually my pleasure because you gave me a break from doing stinking laundry. So I'll talk to you guys soon.
Happy to help.
Appreciate it, Mark. That's great stuff. Mark Grody stopping his daily laundry routine on a day off. Can you imagine how often? These guys he's at Wrigley all the time. And it's a guy like Chris Raby. Those guys live at the ballparks during the season. I'm sure when they get a day off, the last thing they want to do is join us to talk about this kind of stuff. So super nice of Mark to do that on a day when they don't get many days off during the season. So for him to have a complete day off and join us is super nice.
It's good to know that we are above laundry.
Absolutely.
At minimum,
at least we know where we rank.
We're better than laundry. So it's been a busy day with baseball. We still have plenty of stuff coming up. It's been a busy Monday in general.
No doubt.
Jeremy Warner at 525 to talk the 2 new Illini recruits. Illini training camp begins. But that, for next segment, is going to be a lot of fun. Harry Black is going to join us in the third mic.
I know him.
Talk about his experiences with Illini training camp. And I have no set questions.
I don't either.
I just want to talk to him about what that experience is like.
Okay.
Are we talking 2-a-days? Are we talking, I don't know. And I think he may have had a Camp Rantoul experience.
Okay.
We'll talk with him about that after the break here.
He's shaking his head like, ugh.
But before we head to break, let's start this DP Doe office hookup.
Yes, let's do it.
We got 2 more of these. So just this week and next week.
I'm going to give you a little music as you do this. Is that cool?
Yeah, please, by all means.
Little Muse.
We got a lot of Muse on this, don't we?
We do. We might need to flip that around.
Okay, so throughout the summer, DP Doe is hooking up your office with a catered lunch of calzones, salad, and fresh baked cookies for up to 25 people. It's very easy. You know the drill. Text us at 359-2255 with the name of your office and how many people you work with. Along with your office and the number of people you work with, let us know your favorite sports team owner.
Dan Gilbert?
Mark Cuban turns 58 today. So in honor of Mark Cuban, your favorite sports team owner, text that, your name, your office, how many people you work with, and we are going to randomly pick a winner. Usually it's the most clever response, or at least in our opinion it is, to 359-2255. That's 359-2255 for a DP Doe office hookup.
Favorite owner. That is some interesting stuff.
And you know what?
Dan Snyder, right, with the Redskins?
And we'll open it up past or present.
Okay. Okay, that's fair enough. All right, 359-2255. That is a text line. Good luck to everybody. Harry Black in studio next. It's the Tay and J Show.
ESPN Radio Mike and Mike. Extra Point with Clinton Yates. and Booger McFarland.
5 walk-off hits on Sunday, including 3 of the homer variety by the Jays, the A's, and the White Sox. Both are the most on a single day this season. The highlight of the bunch was a walk-off double by Kyle Farmer in the 11th of the Dodgers' 3-2 win over the Giants. Farmer is the first player in Dodgers history with a walk-off RBI in his first career plate appearance. That's courtesy Elias.
I'm just glad there were no broken tooth. After Aaron Judge broke his tooth during a walk-off celebration, hopefully the players will learn how to celebrate. Like, baseball players are kind of awkward. And when you break your tooth during a celebration, that just shows how awkward they are.
And that's one of those moments where if you're the guy that's got to pick up that tooth, you got to think, what am I doing with myself?
You don't even pick it up.
I'm in the bigs. I figured out that I want to be here, but if I'm picking up dudes' teeth off the infield, got to get it together.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Jim. I can't take your call right now. I'm digging for oil in my basement to help pay for my family's mobile bill. A little crazy, you say? You try getting a data plan that has enough gigs for my family. And I thought braces were expensive. We definitely need a switch.
Stuck in a dysfunctional family plan? Switch to Boost Best Family Plan right now and get 4 lines for just $25 per line, each with unlimited gigs. With Metro PCS, you only get 2 gigs per line for the same price. Plus, switch today and get up to 4 free phones, all on the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Offer ends 9/10/17. Requires 1 line to port in. Lines include unlimited data, talk, and text. Video streams optimized at up to 480p plus resolution. Music up to 500 kilobits per second and cloud gaming up to 2 megabits per second. Data deprioritization applies during congestion. Comparison based on Metro PCS's 2 gigabyte promo plan as of 4/25/17. For additional details, visit their website. Free phones while supplies last. Requires port in and activation on $100 plan. Coverage and offers not available everywhere. Restrictions apply.
Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, is now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Stop in and check brand new styles at the corner of Neal and Kirby across from McDonald's. Game Day has new looks to head back to school for the men, women, juniors, and youth. Plus, Game Day Spirit has a huge selection of buy one, get one free Illini shirts for the whole family. Shop Game Day Spirit on Green Street at their new location at 1602 South Neal and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Go Illini.
You've heard me doing my hobby. Roll 'em up! Warner Wrap, go! I also have a real job as co-owner of 2 insurance agencies with more than 50 years of service to Central Illinois. Hey, it's Lon Tay, and I'm excited to do business with you. For a free business, auto, home, or life insurance quote, call me at 832-2411. Partnering with Pekin Insurance, you're guaranteed to receive a competitive quote. Going beyond the expected with Pekin Insurance and the Hillard Agency. Call 832-2411.
Hey, what are you doing on August 25th and 26th?
I don't know. Why?
Well, I'm on the Urbana Sweet Corn Festival website, and I saw some awesome volunteer opportunities.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can volunteer at their corn eating contest, cornhole games, beer tent.
Oh, let me see. These opportunities look awesome. Click on that. What's the entertainment for this year?
The Maze Stage lineup covers an array of classic rock, rhythm and blues, and jazz by some awesome local bands.
Wait, Candy Foster's playing? And Love Sign, ESP, Andy Moe, Kings Highway, The Boat Drunks, Tons of Fun Band, and a performance for Elnora, the Guitar Festival at Craner?
And there's even more stages. The One Community Together, Folk and Roots, and wow, the downtown bars have live music too.
That's 2 days of music we cannot miss.
Oh, look, we can bring the kids too. There's a puzzle hunt by CU Adventures, didgeridoo making, inflatables, and the Motor Buster Car Show.
You can take the kids, but I'm all over that $6 souvenir cup that can be filled at any downtown bar or festival beer stand.
Well, since it's a 2-day festival, I'm sure we can do it all.
Sponsored in part by the Urbana Business Association, City of Urbana, Bud Light, and this station. For more information, visit UrbanaSweetCornFestival.com.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy. The same people you trust after a fire or water disaster will also keep your house clean year-round. That's because the specialists at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County are trained in every category of cleaning, from mold remediation to the cleaning of carpets, upholstery, air ducts, and crawl spaces. They're here to help protect every square foot of your most valuable possessions. ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County, or visit them at servproofchampaignurbana.com. That's the bright green cleanup team at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 430 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more, but with discounts up to 40%, you may find it even costs less. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign, Illinois at 217-367-1105. The trade deadline is today, but the Illini are making some news on the recruiting trail. They got 2 commitments from the state of Florida. The first is the 58th ranked outside linebacker in the nation, Caitlin Tolson from St. Petersburg, Florida. Tolson had offers from Indiana, Pitt, Louisville, Michigan, MSU, Mississippi State, among many others. The next commitment came from about 25 minutes after Tolson, and it was Jartavius Martin. He's a 3-star defensive back out of Lehigh Acres in Florida. Martin had offers from Iowa State, Air Force, and others. In baseball news, Harrison Bader is back to AAA. Piscotty is going to be activated tomorrow for the Cardinals game. To the MLB trade deadline, the Cubs filled their 2 biggest holes on the 25-man roster late last night, and a left-handed reliever and a backup catcher. They got them in one fell swoop. The Cubs traded Heimer Candelario and 2 other minor leaguers for reliever Justin Wilson and catcher Alex Avila. Wilson has a fastball of 97 miles per hour and owns a 2.68 ERA and a whip of 0.94, not to mention a 12.27 K per 9. In other big deadline news, it's finally done. Sonny Gray will be a Yankee. The A's will get a prospect package of Dustin Fowler, Jorge Mateo, and James Kapperlin. Yu Darvish was traded to the Dodgers. Indians thrived on their bullpen last year, and they added another arm for their playoff run in Joe Smith from the Blue Jays. Dodgers also raided the NL Central by trading for Tony Watson of the Pirates and Tony Cingrani of the Reds. Nationals are getting Brandon Kinsler from the Twins. Orioles will get Tim Beckham.
Wait, Tim Beckham?
No, Tim Beckham.
Wow.
From the Rays.
Okay.
And Neymar, he's going to Paris.
Okay.
Not my friends. This is the Sports Center update.
Hey, I was listening, right?
And Harry Black trying to distract Austin.
Just staring at Austin through the glass.
Sophomore.
No doubt, right? No doubt. All right, it's the Tay and J Show. Lonte, Mike Carpenter. Austin Berkman was in earlier to talk baseball. Harry Black's in to talk Illini football. But first, are you going to give away a winner?
Yes, we had a lot of great responses.
Yes,
Dan Rooney, Al Davis. Someone texted in they are actually a shareholder of the Green Bay Packers, so they put the shareholders of the Green Bay Packers.
That's awesome.
As a Bears fan, this I cannot allow.
Oh, no.
No, I'm kidding. That's actually a great answer.
No, it is.
But in all these great answers, we got some creative ones too, including Vince McMahon.
Okay. The old WWE.
And in terms of showmanship and pure entertainment value, it is hard to find. I mean, Mark Cuban, certainly an entertaining guy in his own right. But Vince McMahon, got to congratulate Collegiate Marketing LLC, and Chris Grussing, who won DPO office hookup for 25 people in their office. Vince McMahon, owner of WWE, and who can forget the vaunted XFL?
Yes.
And its half season to play.
He Hate Me?
He Hate Me.
Is that one of them?
Maddox.
Tommy Maddox is a QB.
Yes. That was some good stuff, man. I loved.
And by good stuff, you mean bad stuff.
No, right. But when they, instead of a coin toss, they just threw the ball out and whoever got it, whatever team got it, you got the ball first.
I watched
and it led to like 3 injuries.
The opening night was the same Saturday that I want to say Eddie Curry was in town.
Okay.
Playing over at Centennial with Thornton. Was that his high school?
I think so.
So it was a big deal, and I remember my dad asked me if I wanted to go, but I had been sick the previous day, and I just wasn't really up for it. Plus, I knew the XFL was starting, so I figured, you know what? I'm not feeling all that great. I'll stay home. I'll watch the XFL.
Right.
I'm 11, 12 years old. It should appeal to me.
Exactly.
I turned it off about 3 minutes
I was going to say about 3 minutes in.
It was awful, and I forget who was it. Jesse Ventura was the color commentator.
Yes, okay. Jesse Ventura, who is the now former mayor of Minnesota, right?
Who never played football, right? He was just a guy.
I think he played football. Jesse Ventura played football. He was a big dude. If he didn't, he should have. I think.
Football. I mean, obviously he's an actor.
Well, right, he was an actor, and a mayor.
Let's see.
Or was he governor or something?
Know.
Was he governor, not mayor? He was like governor of Minnesota or something. Am I thinking of the right guy? Maybe.
Yes, no, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a conspiracy theorist now.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, maybe he didn't play football, so that's my bad.
Okay, so we had a couple ideas. We had a draft idea for salad dressings.
Okay, which I don't eat salad. It'd be tough for me, but I can moderate.
Here's an idea.
Okay.
We were talking about burger joints during the break.
Yeah.
Fry draft.
Ooh.
A French fry draft.
I mean, McDonald's goes one, right?
Would we make it only national brands, or could we include local places? Or if we include local places, is that like favoritism for maybe sponsors?
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe just national.
Is there enough national brands, I guess, for a draft? If we each did 3?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I guess there
French
could be.
fry draft.
Now, I don't think we need to do this today, right? We've got plenty of, but down the road, I like this.
Keep drafts in our back pocket. Salad dressing draft, we will definitely do sometime.
Okay.
French fry draft, we'll keep that as well.
I would have to moderate the salad dressing one, but I have put, what's Monocle's have? They've got the, what's the red? Is that not ranch, but Italian, or what is that?
Okay, so the red dressing that you would get at Monocle's?
At Monocle's, yeah.
So that's really more sweet and tangy than it is French. We always call it French growing
I put those on the Lance crackers. Oh, man, those are good. Those club crackers.
Just had some Monocle's on Friday.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Pizza and that dressing, my
just
God.
Just pizza in general. Just any kind of pizza. Just give it to me and I can eat all day. All right, it's the Tay and J Show. Lonte, Mike Carpenter, Harry Black in studio. We thought of this yesterday. Carp and I were texting yesterday because we work all the time. That's all we do. Even we're not out having fun, people. We're worrying about this show. Even on a Sunday, on our day off, we are working for this show. And we both thought, hey, training camp starts for the Illini. Let's bring in Harry Black, who, if you don't know, was a former walk-on with the University of Illinois. 4 years, right? You played with the Illini?
4 whole years.
4 whole years. Do you remember day one of training camp, your freshman year? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you excited? All of the above.
I was probably all of the above. I didn't know what to expect. I remember a true freshman mistake. I was walking over there thinking, okay, I'm going to walk over here, check in, and I'll probably be able to get back to my dorm and pick up any clothing I'll have. I walk in, we check in, we have meetings, and then we have to go to the hotel. And I don't have a car at this point, so I'm basically sitting in my hotel room noticing for the first time, wow, I have one pair of clothing for the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah. Luckily, they give you back a lot of team clothing, but I have one pair of relaxation clothes.
So
I didn't think ahead. I see everyone else walking in with backpacks. And, yeah, I'm like, what is going on? These guys, I'm a freshman and I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Hardly.
And that was Camp Rantoul then.
Oh, my God.
Can we talk about Camp Rantoul? Because that was an institution for a while.
Yes, it was.
And even down here, it was sort of like, yeah, that's a cool idea. You actually go away a little bit. You detach from the community. You stay in the what used to be an old hotel, or were they the Army dormitory?
No. It was a hotel.
Okay.
The Quarters Inn.
Okay.
The Quarters Inn, right.
So how were the accommodations in Rantoul?
Wow. They were not very good. And I'm trying to be nice because I know we're on the radio right now, but basically, I think we were the only people that stayed at the Quarters Inn all year.
Mm-hmm.
I remember coming back my second year, we had pizza a lot of the nights, so you would have a pizza box, always from Domino's. And I remember coming into my room as a sophomore the first time and looking under the bed, and there's a box of Domino's pizza. Luckily, it's empty from the year before.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were the only people that stayed there the entire year, and it was brutal.
What I love about Rantoul is that town took that serious.
It did.
And they did, everything they could to make sure that was a cool experience for the fans. That's what I liked about it. I liked the fact that I could drive to Rantoul, and I'd usually do it at least once a year, and I could sit there and watch the practices and stuff. And the setup was pretty nice with all the fields and everything. I would assume once you got out to practice and had all that, was that pretty solid there?
It was okay. The fields were a little rough at times because you have to remember it's grass, and we're on these fields for, I think, a week or a week and a half, and sometimes 2 days. So we're tearing up this field. There's no turf to give it a break with. The only thing there's 2 things about Rantoul that really were better than Champaign. The first is that you are in Rantoul. You don't worry about anything else except for football for a week and a half. From 7 in the morning till 10 at night for 10 straight days, which gets exhausting, but it really brings the team together.
Yeah.
In hindsight. The other is the food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. They don't do a lot of things right for Camp Rantoul, but they did the food right.
Nice. So was it an outside caterer or something that brings it all in? Or
I don't really remember what it was. All I remember is they had this banquet hall. I don't know who would want a banquet in an abandoned army field or whatever it was.
Well, it's got its charm.
Yes. Yeah, sure. But the food was amazing.
Okay, so
that's awesome.
Okay, you let's say a typical day. Morning practice more than afternoon?
a typical day at Rantoul or just training camp?
Rantoul. Let's start that.
On a non-2-a-day practice, you would wake up, have meetings. You would go. I'm trying to remember. I think what we would do, we would have practice after the meetings, come back for lunch, then have a lift later on in the day. Actually, that might have been flipped. We would have a walkthrough and a lift early on in the day, then lunch, then meetings, then afternoon practice, then more meetings, then dinner, then more meetings, then bed.
So the meetings before practice, are they explaining to you what you're going to be detailing that day in practice, et cetera, or what kind of meetings do you do? What do you do in an offensive line meeting without getting, telling secrets?
A lot of it is install early on, because you got to remember you have freshmen who are coming in who weren't here for spring ball, so you're telling them the basics. You're saying, okay, here's what we're doing on an inside zone to the right. Here's what we're doing on an inside zone to the left. Here's our basic pass pro. Here's our basic slide protection. It's a lot of, like I said, a lot of installation just to get a lot of the people on the same page. So what you're doing at meetings is you're going over that. You're going over film from the previous day, and you are going over what you were going to do later on in the day.
Got it.
So really there's never a dull moment for meetings. You think, like when I'm saying that, I'm saying meetings, and you think, oh, you only have 2 hours of practice a day. Because luckily last year we didn't have any 2-a-days. 2-a-days are brutal.
I was going to say they're gone, right? They don't even allow that, do they?
I don't know if they do.
Or if that's a Lovey.
People just shied away from it.
I don't know. I don't think Lovey likes them, but for 2-a-days, it's exactly what it sounds like. You have practice from 9 to 11:30 in the morning. Then you have lunch. Then you, I think, have meetings and a slight break for like an hour. Then you come back, more meetings. Then practice for another 2.5 hours. So those were the most brutal. But even on days where you don't have 2 practices, the meetings drain you because you go to practice, you go eat, and you come back, and at least for offensive line meetings, all 3 coaches that I had, they got after you on the film. They tell you what you're doing wrong, and you're just thinking, God, I just want to melt into the seat and disappear.
Maybe they didn't see mine.
They see it.
They see it
they
all,
see everything. You can be looking at a play thinking, okay, I did okay, and then boom.
Your ankle angle was 25 degrees, and actually we're looking for about 33.
It's the little things, man, but they get after you because they need to.
Okay, so 4 training camps, 1 with Lovey, I guess 3 with Beckman. I was about to say 2 with Beckman, 1 with Cubitt, but that was all after training camp would have ended already.
That's a good call.
The primary difference between a Tim Beckman training camp and a Lovey Smith training camp, what would it be?
And this isn't saying anything's better than the other one or whatever, because I had each Beckman training camp was a Rantoul training camp. The third one was weird because we had all that stuff going on, and we felt okay. We were kind of making fun of it with the little skits that we have little freshman skits that they do to just poke fun at the upcoming season or coaches and whatever. A lot of those skits were making fun of the situation that was going on. And then
the lawsuit, the legal wrangling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff that was going on. And then a week afterwards, Beckman gets fired.
Wow.
So it was a very awkward,
skits aren't so funny anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But I would have to say the most different, or the biggest difference between a Beckman training camp and a Lovey Smith training camp was that for Lovey, it really seemed like it was more matter of fact, more business, more let's focus on football and get this done. And this didn't work for me personally because I'm just not this kind of person. But for a lot of the Beckman meetings, a lot of team meetings we had way more team meetings with Coach Beckman. We would have a lot of, this is what it means to be a team. This is what you have to do, and all the seniors would have little videos that they showed about their time at the school, and they would. Oh, my God. I can't tell you how many times I heard it doesn't matter how hard you get hit. Oh, my God.
It matters how hard you... Yeah, what was that?
Okay, frickin' Rocky.
I'm not trying to make fun, but when was the first time you heard Oski? And how did the team take it?
Yes.
I think that... I'm trying to remember. I do remember the team meeting. It was back because we had wristbands. And the first one I think was...
Which is in here in the studio, by the way.
Yeah,
we have one of the Oski wristbands.
But even before that, we had... I think the first one we had was Win.
Okay.
And it was whatever is necessary.
Nice.
And then if you had today, it's Wint, which he famously said on a Chicago sports station. Whatever is necessary today, they said Wint? Hashtag Wint?
Well, I remember the Oski thing. He showed us a PowerPoint, and
I was going to ask if there was a PowerPoint presentation.
I thought it was cool. I thought,
Okay.
you know, Oski Wow, we're the Illinois Fighting Illini.
See,
and
that's
then
cool. I mean, it's fair to think that was cool.
I thought it was cool to incorporate it, but then he was like, our success equals, and I was like,
the knowledge.
And I was like,
energy.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
What is the final E?
It's the our success. I can't. That's one of those words I can't say.
Success
Equals our knowledge, energy, and effort.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
I mean, there are worse acronym slogans.
I agree.
I think it was just the infamous delivery.
He gave it a
of
shot.
that to the general public, and it seems like it went over a little better with the team.
Harry Black, he's one of our interns, of course, and he is a former walk-on at the University of Illinois. So we're asking him, today is day one of training camp for Lovie Smith and this Illinois football squad this year. We're kind of asking you questions about that. If you've never been to a training camp, what you hear a lot of times are whistles, horns blowing, all of a sudden everybody just picks a spot and runs to it. How do you know where to go next? And, I mean, is that something that's pretty simple? Do you just follow the next guy in line if you're a freshman and say, where am I supposed to go? I mean, how do they do it? It seems like it looks like a jumbled mess, yet everybody ends up in a spot. I think it's pretty cool to watch.
Well, usually before practice, we'll meet up. They say practice goes from 2:30 to 5, and really that's what the official time is. But we always want to get out there probably around 1:45 or something, basically to get with our position coach and know where we're going to be, kind of get stretched up, know what we're going to do for the practice for that day. And the only time you don't know what you're doing is if you're a freshman on your first or second day.
Okay.
After that, it is all very straightforward. For me, even on a day where I didn't know where I was going when I was a freshman, I would just look, okay, that's where Jake Feldmeyer's
going.
I'll follow him over there. And then as it goes on, you're always usually in the same place. The offensive line is, for some reason, always the furthest away from where we stretch, which just seemed unfair. But
poor offensive line.
Yeah,
some of the biggest guys on the team too,
and they're making you run
the furthest distance.
What the heck?
You have individual drills usually earlier on, which are just what they sound like. For offensive line, obviously, is the only
snapping the ball. You're
snapping
making
the ball.
Yeah.
You're getting your steps down. You're making sure your footwork is good. Getting leverage drills going. And for the first 20 minutes, that's really where you get in the most of your work. And then after that, you have some position, some more, offensive ball, like oriented drills. For the first couple days, it's usually what they're going to be doing is more individual stuff to get familiar with their position group.
Was scrimmage always the highlight? I mean, in other words, by the end, where all of a sudden they get you together, offense has the ball in the 40, defense, you have to stop them. Was that the best part usually of practice?
I mean, I guess it was the time when you were the most active, but it's also the time when you were the most tired.
Right.
Because you have been practicing for a couple hours now, and you see the finish line, you're trying to still put in all your work, but also that is the time when you're thinking, okay, I need to know what my assignment is. I need to know what I'm doing. And I also know that everything I don't do right here, I am just going to be railed in a couple hours at these meetings for. So it's tough because they tell you to get over that play. If you didn't do it right, get on to the next play. But it's tough because you're thinking, oh, my God, I can't believe I just did that. But that is probably the highlight of a practice when you have the most fun, especially when it's situational, like, 30 seconds, get into field goal range, something like that.
Right.
Were you ever so physically drained after a training camp practice where it hurt or you were just zonked, your mind was just kind of scrambled all over the place? I mean, because sometimes, especially two-a-days, people talk about, oh, yeah, I was puking my guts out.
Right.
I mean, any gratuitous stories of exhaustion or anything like that?
I will say the head scrambling thing is basically, that's aside from the rest of your body. Your head is swimming, as whether it's with getting hit or just with all this stuff going in. All the installation is almost more than the physical aspect of it. You need to know all this new stuff, especially since for the last couple of years we have had different offensive playbooks 2 or 3 times. So that's really what gets you at the beginning of training camp. But I remember there were a couple times where I was absolutely drenched in sweat. It was like I had jumped into a pool because it's August. It's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
It is as hot as it gets. And
humid.
You're out there, humid, especially on the grass fields. And for some of the morning practices too. Oh, it was like you were swimming.
It's a swamp in the morning.
Yeah, but they do a absolutely fantastic job, all the trainers, of keeping you in the best possible shape.
I bet.
Because after you go from these 95 to 100 degree practices, you go inside the stadium. They have all these cold tubs, popsicles, Gatorades, pickle juice, anything to get you back to being hydrated and ready for lifts and practices later on in the day.
Harry, one last thing for me. Any fights? And what was that like when a couple of guys, not fights as in brawls, but you always see it in the NFL, you'll see it on ESPN. Look what they did today at Carolina Panther training camp. Luke Kuechly and whomever got into it. Did you ever have any of those issues? And how quick? I always think about this, like, so if you and I were squaring off and we got to the point where we just hated each other that day and we started just throwing punches, like I'm supposed to like you like 20 minutes later because we're part of the same team. How hard was that to get over, and how many of those did you have?
For me personally?
Yeah, did you? You probably didn't have any. You're too nice.
No, I had a couple.
Oh, did you?
I remember there was one practice where I think it was towards the end of training camp. It was one of those under the lights ones at Memorial Stadium, and it was during a scrimmage. Excuse me. And I had to do a reach block on Chunky Clements, who was lined up as a nose guard. So I went and I reached him, and of course, defensive linemen always cry holding. I don't know if it was. It probably was. But he tells me I'm holding. I'm like, man, just go make the play if you're really that upset about it.
Wow.
And
oh boy,
it's just that kind of talk. And next play, I forget what I do, but he kind of like reaches behind my head and throws me down. I'm just like, okay, you didn't make the play. You put me on the ground, but you didn't make the play. Way to go, Chunk. But 10 minutes after practice, I'm walking in. I see him like, yo, Chunk, man, we're good, right? He's like, yeah, man, we're fine. That's cool. Leave it all out there.
That's cool.
You know the heat's getting the best of you. That's just the way it is out there.
I agree. Totally agree. Harry, good stuff, man. Are we missing anything that we didn't ask you about training camp?
Pickle juice?
Pickle juice. Is it good?
It's
some
a
electrolyte thing?
Yeah, I'll tell you the negative effects of it off the air, but they give you pickles, and I was always the one who wanted the pickle juice. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, but it has all the electrolytes, all the salt water, and it's just all this. It gets you super hydrated afterwards, and it got me better than Gatorade would.
Interesting. Wow. So would you just stand behind there and wait for everybody to grab the pickles out, and then you're like, I get the rest?
Well, I was usually one of the last ones into the cold tub, usually because of a mix of wanting to stretch out and being a little bit slower off the field.
Got it. Well, and you're always far away because you're an offensive lineman.
Exactly.
you know how it is. You poor guys.
Yeah, they so by the time I was there, I would see one of the jars would already be empty of pickles. So I was like, hey, can I get that jar? And
that's cool.
The trainer would be like, yeah, sure.
Did you ever have, last question, did you ever have a one-on-one moment with either Lovie Smith or Tim Beckman during a training camp practice? Because, I would imagine there's 100 guys out there. It's hard for Lovie to get around and talk to everybody. Do you remember a certain moment where maybe Lovie, especially, let's be honest, that's Lovie Smith. That's pretty cool. Did you ever have a moment where he came up and just like addressed you to you?
Not in training camp. I've obviously had the after the season meetings with him, which was cool. I remember thinking in hindsight when I was after I had my meeting with Coach Smith, I was like, that's probably the most famous person I've ever been one-on-one in with a room with.
Right.
But usually both Beckman and Coach Lovie they're defensive-minded coaches. So usually if I'm talking to someone, it's going to be Coach Buckus or Coach Ricker or Bratton or McGee.
We just got a text. Every segment with Harry is always interesting and really funny. Seems like a great guy from Milwaukee. Alana and I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're excited as we get into the Tay and Carp show. We have some really cool things coming up, and later on in this show.
What's going to be huge is during the football season, we're going to have Harry kind of break down, what is it? What are we going to call it?
Harry Black's Film Room.
I love this. So what we're going to do is have Harry break down each Illini football game, because the guys like you and I,
we're laymen.
We are laymen. There's no doubt. And even Jeremy would admit, even though he played high school football, there's a different level with college. I never played football. I can watch football. I can play Madden on PlayStation and realize some of those things, but I don't know a stinking thing about it. So we're looking forward to you breaking things down and kind of understanding for us, like what's going on here, and maybe each week we'll assign, maybe the safeties had a big week against Iowa, and we say, all right, Harry, break down why these guys had such a big game against Iowa. So that's going to be something we're going to give our listeners that I think is unique. I mean, we've got a guy that played college football, and we're going to take advantage of that and get that to you when the new show starts and, of course, when the season starts.
And, of course, Would You Rather, which will end today's show with another one of those.
I love it. All right, Harry, thank you, sir.
No problem.
Good stuff with Harry Black, about said former intern. He's actually a current intern. He's getting more of a role, though, so I'm not sure if we can even use intern with the name in it.
It's beneath him.
It is beneath him now. Do you even talk to the other interns? Or do you?
I associate myself with Mr. Birkland, but the other ones are truly beneath me.
Okay, Maddie's giving you a bad eye right now.
Peasants.
Bad look. That's not good. I would not have done that. All right, 359-2255. If you'd like to weigh in, 217-359-2255. If next hour, Jeremy Warner is going to join us at 5:25. We have drive time, and as we mentioned, Harry Black's Would You Rather to close things out. Busy 5 o'clock hour next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Winning can be fun, and we love giving away free stuff, but we want to make sure it's fair for everyone. So here are the rules when competing to win on ESPN 93.5. No purchase necessary. Prize must be collected within 30 days during business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 2702 Boulder in Urbana. ESPN Radio assumes no liability due to circumstances beyond our control, and any prize may be substituted with a prize of equal or greater value. Winners are liable for any taxes, tips, or other miscellaneous charges associated with the prize. All contestants must have a valid ID and social security number. Our judges' decisions are final and reserve the right to end any contest at any time for any reason without notice. In the event that a contestant is found to be ineligible for a prize, said prize will not be awarded. And if you win, we reserve the right to use your likeness or voice on the radio or online, and any winners must wait 30 days to win again. Get a complete list of rules and more information on any contest on ESPN Radio at ESPNCU.com. Those are the rules, and good luck from ESPN 93.5.
This Mettler tip is brought to you by Mettler Center Physical Therapy.
Physical therapy is an excellent option for addressing low back pain. You don't have to resort to taking medication or having surgery. Trying out non-invasive options such as physical therapy first could be beneficial in not only reducing the pain, but in identifying the cause. Poor posture, malalignment of the pelvis, or tight musculature can be at fault. Working with a physical therapist, you can correct these issues and develop a management plan specific to you.
For more information, visit online at MettlerCenter.com.
On the first day of Christmas. All right, I'll save you the pain of listening to me sing the entire song. But it really is Christmas in July at Rosati's Pizza in Urbana. Now through the end of the month, buy $40 in gift certificates and receive a $10 certificate for free. Rosati's is known for their famous pizza, but they have a full menu of wings, salad, pastas, sandwiches, and more. And it's Christmas in July. Buy $40 in gift certificates and receive a $10 certificate for free. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
When your car breaks down, you realize just how much you need it. And when it breaks down, Beaumont Alignment Plus steps up. For routine maintenance like brakes, oil changes, tune-ups, batteries, and tires, you can count on Beaumont Alignment Plus. Bigger issues including alignment, suspension work, starters, alternators, transmission requires specialists. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Denison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. It's good to know that quality service is still affordable at Beaumont Alignment Plus.
We alarm our houses, and we alarm our cars. But when it comes to your personal information, it can be tough to know when something isn't right. That's where Discover Card can help. Now, we'll send you an alert if we find your social security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. And this service is free for card members. Just sign up online. It's our way of looking out for you, not just your account. Learn more at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
DP Dough is the original Calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original Calzone Calzone Company.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Today, we're talking about your budget and budget blinds.
People get so hung up on that word budget.
Listen, everybody's got a budget. Budget Blinds is all about getting the window coverings you really want at a price that fits your budget.
Right. They have exclusive designer styles, hundreds of choices.
And Budget Blinds gives you expert service. None of that do-it-yourself. The pros bring the showroom to you, then do it all. Measure and install.
What a relief.
That's style and service for every budget.
And right now, during their 25th anniversary celebration, it's the biggest sale of the year with special upgrades and offers.
Explain the free upgrades like the invisible tilt for shutters.
Make shutters look cleaner, more contemporary. Same with the free cordless upgrade on honeycomb shades. No cords. Looks sleek and uncluttered.
I like that. Just call this number. It's easy to remember. 855-BUDGET-BLINDS.
855, then the name, Budget Blinds, or go online.
BudgetBlinds.com.
Remember, budget means getting custom window coverings at a price that fits your budget. And remember, 855-BUDGET-BLINDS.
Offer good on selected products at participating independently owned and operated franchises only. Some restrictions may apply. Ask for details.
Napa know-how.
There are lots of amazing cars on the road, but perhaps none more amazing than the paid-off car. It may not be pretty, but the price is right. Heck, if you keep that thing running, it'll actually start paying you. Because with Napa Rewards, for every $100 you spend, you'll get $5 off. So keep your car running longer, stronger with Napa Rewards and watch the savings start rolling in. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa know-how.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
This morning, Anthony Scaramucci said, look, let's clear the decks. Let me go back to the Ex-Im Bank, the Export-Import Bank, and let John Kelly have his clean slate to put his own team in there. And so that's the way it's coming down. Now, we don't know if it's simply because of the chain of command and Kelly wanted to make a change there, or if it had something to do with that interview that Scaramucci gave last week, the profanity-laced interview that he gave with the correspondent from that one publication.
Fox's John Roberts at the White House. No word yet on a replacement for Scaramucci. On Twitter, President Trump has been urging Senate Republicans not to give up on efforts to repeal and replace Obamacare, saying it should be allowed to implode. Senate Democrats have something else in mind. Fox's Jared Halpern live from the Capitol.
On the first day back for senators, since last week's failed attempt at repealing parts of the Affordable Care Act, there was no mention of restarting the process from Republican leaders. Top Democrats are urging a bipartisan renewal and warning about actions President Trump could take on his own.
He's actively trying to make it collapse, taking out his political loss on the American people.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer responding to weekend tweets from the president suggesting the administration could cut off payments to insurers intended to offset costs for low-income Americans. Jane.
Thanks, Jared. He hugged him twice. President Trump presenting the Medal of Honor to a 71-year-old Vietnam veteran from Michigan.
Specialist 5 McLuhan, we honor you. We salute you. And with God as your witness, we thank you for what you did for all of us.
McLuhan risked his life to save 10 wounded colleagues. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Home isn't just a place. It's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, we help keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home. Safe home.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Rick Scott declaring a state of emergency in 31 counties after Tropical Storm Emily made landfall near the mouth of Tampa Bay.
Florida Power & Light is working aggressively to restore power to their impacted customers. Right now, we have about 18,000 homes and businesses are without power due to the impacts from Tropical Storm Emily.
And the Coast Guard rescuing 2 fishermen from Tampa Bay after their boat sank. He called himself America's toughest sheriff. Joe Arpaio today found guilty in federal court. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has the details live.
Jane, former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio was convicted of criminal contempt for intentionally ignoring a judge's order to stop conducting patrols that targeted illegal aliens. Federal Judge Susan Bolton referred to media statements Arpaio made after the 2011 order as part of her reasoning. Arpaio at the time said he would continue enforcing immigration laws. Now his attorney Jack Willencheck says they will be appealing this and try to get a jury trial.
A jury would have easily acquitted him. The prosecution was prosecuting him for violating an order that made sense to nobody.
They argued that Arpaio's former attorney failed to explain the initial judge's order to him. He now faces up to 6 months in jail, Jane.
Thanks, Jessica. The sheriff in Walker County, Alabama, says he's not going to make any excuses after a dozen inmates escaped from his jail, all but one back in custody. So how did they get out?
Some of the inmates been pretty smart on what their plan was, changing some numbers on the door with peanut butter. That may sound crazy, but these people are crazy like a fox.
Sheriff Jim Underwood says the peanut butter ruse persuaded a new employee to open a door to the outside from his control room. The inmate still at large, locked up for drug possession. And U.S. markets ending mixed. The Dow up 62-0. Record high. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast from the National Weather Service, brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the heating and cooling experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to help keep you comfortable all year long. That's 866-EXPERTS, or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight getting down to...
Wait, did you meet Jane Metzler?
Only on Twitter. She follows me now, and I follow her.
She follows you on Twitter?
Yes.
And I'm the one that has offered to take her out to dinner.
I know. She seems like a really cool lady.
Yeah, because she follows you on Twitter now.
Well, that helps.
Well, that does.
Otherwise,
okay.
I would be talking badly about her.
Man, that stinks.
66 the low tonight, 83 the high tomorrow with a low of 65 and a 50% chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Wednesday, about the same, 84 the high, 66 the low, and a 50% chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon as well. Right now, 85 and sunny, very nice. ESPN Radio. It is time for Drive Time, presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For a wide selection of new and used vehicles, visit them at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy or online at drivechampaign.com. Drive Champaign, where we recap what we've talked about so far on the show today.
Garp, the trade deadline for Major League Baseball came and went. 3 o'clock Central Time. The Cardinals did nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't think anything has trickled down. I think we would have known by now.
Right.
They stand pat. The White Sox made another trade. Melky Cabrera gone this weekend. But the bigger news, Carp, that we talked about was the Chicago Cubs trading for catcher Alex Avila and relief pitcher Justin Wilson, another lefty, for that bullpen. Really two things, as we talked to Austin Berkland about and Mark Grody. Really two things that helped solidify that roster. Those were kind of the holes. A backup, experienced catcher, which you get in Avila, and also somebody for that bullpen, and you get another lefty with Wilson. And I'd have to imagine, Carp, that they had their eye on the Nationals and Bryce Harper, and they had their eye on the Dodgers and some of the left-handers in that lineup as well when they went out and got a guy like Justin Wilson, who's been lights out this year.
You give up Candelario, but you have to give up quality to get quality
Yes,
back.
you do.
So that is a price that a team in a World Series window is willing to make. And this is also a move because Wilson will be there next year as well.
Good call.
So you could say it's a 2-year play. I mean, that's a very good arm to have in that bullpen next year. And, you know, credit to Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer. They do a really good job of identifying the holes and just going out and getting them. What will be interesting the years going forward is not having those pieces in the minors to make these same sorts of moves.
No doubt.
They're going to have to maybe change that paradigm a little bit to restock the minors and then get these guys in free agency. or via trade with maybe some guys that have played at the major league level.
Right.
Whether that be a Baez or an Almore. I don't think Baez will ultimately ever go. I think he's too good to do that. But, some of these guys, maybe they are expendable in the eyes of Hoyer and Epstein. But good move for them. Yankees, they get Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
Very good move for them. And the 3 guys they moved, 2 of them injured at the moment.
Okay.
So a risk on both sides.
Right.
I know Sonny Gray was hurt last year, but what pitcher doesn't get hurt at some point in their career? And then you have Jaime Garcia.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about this.
I didn't ask you about that.
Yeah, Jaime Garcia is the guy that the Cardinals, of course, traded to the Braves, who then traded to the Twins, who then traded to the Yankees.
Third team this year.
This is crazy. So, and if you include the Cardinals, it'd be 4, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the crazy thing. But Jaime Garcia is the guy, if he's your 5th starter, that's not the worst thing in the world.
No.
As long as he stays healthy. And I know he was, 3-0 after the All-Star break. The guy has stuff. He's got good stuff from that left side. I think the Cardinals in general and Cardinals fans just tired of him because all of a sudden he'd give up a game where he'd give up 9 runs or something if he was even healthy. And it just got to the point where it's like, you know what, Jaime, we've been hearing all about you for all these years. It's time to not grow up, but it's time to show up.
What a fall for him 2 years ago, starting in the NLDS against the Cubs and just failing to disclose the fact that he was healthy.
Sick. How about telling us on that? Yeah, exactly. I couldn't help but think when you were talking about the Cubbies and the fact that their farm system now is getting depleted. It's not completely depleted, but certainly all these guys. But you think about it, Carp, on the big league club itself. You got Wilson Contreras, Javi Baez. I about said Starlin Castro. Who's your shortstop?
Addison Russell.
Addison Russell. You've got Ian Happ, Chris Bryant. On and on. Kyle Schwarber. You've got all these kids that have come up and they're making not only immediate impact, but impact that is felt. I mean, this is a team that won a World Series, and you're going for broke right now. And I don't blame Theo. And I don't blame Jed for doing this, especially a move like today. I think even though you're depleting some of that talent, you're here to win now. You won it last year. There's no reason why you can't win a couple more here in the next 5 years.
But winning now is not just this year for this team. It is a 5-year window when you look at how young they are. And contract situations will arise. Will they be able to keep everybody? I don't know.
But for right now, I think
financially, I think they will be able to swing the big
they have so much money tied up in John Lester and Jason Hayward.
Yes.
But that's how it works in baseball, right?
Yeah,
and Hayward has that out in a couple of years. We'll see what happens with that. Lester, I know you're paying him $30 million, but is he not worth it? Was that World Series not worth it, what he's able to do? And to know that you're going into a playoff with Johnny Lester as your ace, that's huge.
And you know what's funny? I think if you asked any team, and including Yankee fans, or Cardinals fans, or I'm trying to other organizations that have multiple titles and don't have that weight of not having had that title.
Right.
They would all say, yes, I will trade this, and this.
Boom.
For a World Series trophy.
Amen.
And the Cubs are still in a very healthy position, and then you look at the Dodgers. Oh my gosh. They get Yu Darvish, the rich get richer. Literally and figuratively speaking. So that is a roster that on paper is super scary and on the field has been scary already.
No doubt.
Now with Kershaw out for the next month and a half or so, you'll get him back in time for the playoffs. That is a very good rotation to match that lineup and a great bullpen when needed. Jansen is he's lights out right now.
He really is. And it's interesting. Now, you asked me about the Cardinals doing nothing. I think there is such a huge gap between like a Dodgers and a Cardinals, where in the past that hasn't been the case, that I think if you're St. Louis, I don't doubt for 1 minute that Gershom and Zaylock were out there trying to offer Lance Lynn for something. We don't know. Maybe nothing was offered back of any value. So they instead say, well, we're just going to keep Lance Lynn. The other thing I told you is you're only 4.5 back.
Right.
Yes, I know you're probably dreaming a dream to think that the Cardinals are good enough to overtake the Cubs, maybe to win this NL Central, but you're only 4.5 back. You just got done with the week where you won 5 out of 7 against 2 really good teams in Colorado and Arizona. You got the Brewers coming to town. I mean, it's just one of those situations where I think you're going to Milwaukee, but it's just one of those situations to me where if you're the Cardinals, you want to be in sell mode a little bit with guys like Lance Lynn and stuff, but number one, what were you getting back? And number two, you're still kind of in this thing. And if Lynn ends up, you offer him a qualifying offer at the end of the year. If he doesn't take it, sign somewhere else. then you get a compensatory pick, which is not as good as they have been in the past. They made that new rule in baseball. It's still a pick, though, and it's still value in that second or third round.
And judging by what Yu Darvish commanded, I don't know if teams would have overpaid for Lance Lynn.
Totally agree.
We don't know yet, I don't think, at least, what came back for Yu Darvish, and I'm sure it's a prospect or two, a nice package, but not some unbelievable sort of thing. I mean, you get Eloy Jimenez for a guy like Quintana. Why? Because Quintana's there for another 3 years.
Absolutely.
But in the case of Lance Lynn, a guy who's been really good with the Cardinals organization,
yes, he has.
I wonder if there's a little bit of apprehension from other front offices that think, okay, well, we know he's done it there, recent injury history, and a short-term rental before he goes out and tries to get as much money as he can on the free agency market.
It'll be interesting.
Because I tell you what, Lance Lynn, when he hits that market, is going to get overpaid.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He's fine.
Yep.
He's pretty good.
$20+ million a year.
He's going to get paid like he's great.
Yep.
I don't know if he is.
That's how it works. All right, we're going to talk to Jeremy Warner in a minute about a couple of guys, but Illinois football got a couple of commits from the state of Florida. They are working it down in the Sunshine State. Kalen Tolson from Florida committed, as did Jartavius Martin. Again, we'll get more information from Jeremy, IlliniInquirer.com, and, of course, future host of the Jeremy Warner Show and still on the Tay and J Show. We'll ask him what these mean, what these two signings mean for Lovie Smith and crew. But I told you, Carp, Lovie Smith, he has a name in Illinois. There's no doubt. But that guy lived down in Tampa's St. Pete area, and that's where these kids are from. He still has a big name down there and a lot of connections, and you're seeing it.
Well, Tolson from St. Petersburg. The other offers he had included Indiana, Michigan, Michigan State, Louisville, Pittsburgh, Mississippi State, Syracuse, among others. So he's getting Power 5. He was getting Power 5 recognition and then chooses Illinois. Yeah, it's not a 4 or 5 star kid, but a 3-star kid that could turn out to be a very good player.
No doubt.
And then Jartavius Martin, not rated as of yet. He is a safety in the class of 2018 from Lehigh Acres. Again, the same sort of area as well, I believe. He had other offers from Air Force, Southern Miss, Tulane, Charlotte, Georgia Southern. These are that right there.
Yeah.
Is what an Illini fan will look at initially and say, what's going on?
Right.
Patience maybe will have to be required for this class too.
Sure.
It almost makes the beginning of the season imperative that they don't start off terribly.
Yeah.
They need to get a win that you don't expect, because otherwise I don't know if you can build momentum based on Lovie's name alone.
Okay. That'd be interesting. Hey, we got about a minute left in drive time, but Illinois basketball, well, the Big Ten, that is, announced the conference schedules for basketball, and here it is. Illinois will play these teams only once and only at home. Iowa, Maryland, Penn State, and Purdue. They will play these teams once and on the road. Michigan, Minnesota, Northwestern, Ohio State. The teams you play twice, Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska, Rutgers, and Wisconsin. We've got 30 seconds. We're going to wrap up drive time. But, Carp, right after drive time, I want you and I to kind of break this down a little bit, but I'll let you sign off at drive time.
Let's do that. We'll do Jeremy Warner to end the show at 5:40. This is Drive Time presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. Visit them at Neal and Burwash in Savoy or online at drivechampaign.com.
Beacon Insurance and your local independent agent are committed to providing the best coverage options and the best service possible. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at beaconinsurance.com and on social media. Check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Beacon Insurance. It's a great way to learn more about insurance for your auto, home, life, or business. You'll stay up to date with important announcements. Plus, they'll throw in a few fun facts along the way. For beyond the expected information, follow Beacon Insurance on Facebook today.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals, a nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
Looking to renovate your kitchen or bathroom? For over 30 years, Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company has been Champaign-Urbana's #1 showroom for all your kitchen and bath needs. From design to installation, Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company combines years of industry experience with excellent customer service. Check out their solid surface quartz and granite countertops, plus a wide range of fixtures and cabinetry. Call Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company at 352-1900 or visit online at kitchenbathandcabinetco.com. ShampaineParks.com.
Hey, what are you doing on August 25th and 26th?
I don't know. Why?
Well, I'm on the Urbana Sweet Corn Festival website, and I saw some awesome volunteer opportunities.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can volunteer at their corn eating contest, cornhole games, beer tents.
Oh, let me see. These opportunities look awesome. Click on that. What's the entertainment for this year?
The main stage lineup covers an array of classic rock, rhythm and blues, and jazz by some awesome local bands.
Wait, Candy Foster's playing? And Love Sign, ESP, Andy Moog, King's Highway, The Boat Drunks, Tons of Fun Band, and a performance for Elnora, the Guitar Festival at Craner?
And there's even more stages. The One Community Together, Fulton Roots, and wow, the downtown bars have live music too.
That's 2 days of music we cannot miss.
Oh, look, we can bring the kids too. There's a puzzle hunt by CU Adventures, didgeridoo making, inflatables, and the Motor Buster car show.
You can take the kids, but I'm all over that $6 souvenir cup that can be filled at any downtown bar or festival beer stand.
Well, since it's a 2-day festival, I'm sure we can do it all.
Sponsored in part by the Urbana Business Association, City of Urbana, Bud Light, and this station. For more information, visit UrbanaSweetCornFestival.com.
Delicious food, cold brews, great music and art, Kids Zone, and more. Join the Champaign Park District for the Taste of Champaign Urbana happening August 18th and 19th in Westside Park, Champaign. Try something new. Get a sample of local favorites as you explore exciting food vendors. Hear free live music featuring Rock Country Act, Murphy 500, and the danceable Sun Stereo. The Taste of Champaign Urbana has something for everyone, so come to Westside Park August 18th and 19th and be ready to eat. Get more information online today at ChampaineParks.com. That's ChampaineParks.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
I'm not a UFC fan. In fact, when John Jones and Daniel Cormier fought Saturday night, my wife and I were watching something else, the series finale of Bloodline. I swear there's supposed to be another episode. It's so confusing, but I digress. John Jones knocked Cormier out. A vicious left leg kick to the head did most of the damage as Cormier couldn't stand after it and eventually fell and started getting blasted. Now, the referee, Big John McCarthy, stopped the fight. Fortunately for Cormier, despite Cormier's frustration with Big John at the time. Go back to the first thing I said, though. I'm not a UFC fan, but I am a fan of the class that's often shown by UFC fighters, something founder Dana White, I know, is proud of. Cormier posted a heartfelt message on Instagram yesterday, congratulating John Jones and his team, thanking his fans, and thanking that referee, Big John McCarthy, for the time he did give him to try to stay in the fight. Huh? In a blood sport, to see that kind of sportsmanship is refreshing. Jones, by the way, has also been very complimentary of Cormier, calling him a great man, husband, and father. Ah, the love. In 60 seconds, what off-season?
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, can I still take advantage of today's low rates? Is it still a good time to refinance? The answer is yes. Now's a great time to call Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Here's the scoop on garden soil. Sometimes it needs help from the Home Depot, where bags of Miracle Grow garden soil are a special buy, 3 for just $10. It improves existing soil with nutrients plants need for stronger roots, so they'll hit the ground running, starting with much better ground. Miracle Grow garden soil, 3 bags, $10. Now at the #1 retailer for Scott's Miracle Grow, the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through August 2nd while supplies last. Contiguous U.S. only. Limit 80 per customer.
Sure, it may be the NBA's off-season, but man, there were some entertaining hoops all over the country this weekend. From LaMelo Ball launching shots from everywhere in Vegas to his father continuing to be a clown and in the process insult a female ref and, frankly, females everywhere. Man, that guy. To the Big Three rolling through its 6th successful week, though Allen Iverson's no-show was a really bad look for AI and for the league that dangerously chose to make him its basketball face. To a dynamite Drew League game in L.A. that gave the public a first look at Chris Paul and James Harden together. Friends, we're all waiting together for football to start, but basketball's what's entertaining us while we wait for our table. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Hello, I'm Austin Berglund with the 530 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood at 217-367-1105 today. The trade deadline is today, but the Illini are making some news on their recruiting trail. They got 2 commitments from the state of Florida. The first is the 58th ranked outside linebacker in the nation, Kalen Tolson from St. Petersburg, Florida. Tolson had offers from Indiana, Pitt, Louisville, Michigan, MSU, Mississippi State, among many others. The next commitment came about 25 minutes after Tolson, and it was Jartavius Martin. He is a 3-star defensive back out of Lehigh Acres, Florida. Martin had offers from Iowa State, Air Force, and others. In baseball news, Harrison Bader is headed back to AAA. And Steven Piscotty, he's activated tomorrow for the Cardinals. To the MLB trade deadline, the Cubs filled their 2 biggest holes on the 25-man roster late last night in a left-handed reliever and a backup catcher. They got them both in one fell swoop. The Cubs traded Jeimer Candelario and 2 other minor leaguers for reliever Justin Wilson and catcher Alex Avila from the Tigers. Wilson has a fastball of 97 miles per hour and owns a 2.68 ERA and a whip of 0.94, not to mention a 12.27 K per 9. Another big deadline news, it's finally done for Sonny Gray will be a Yankee. The A's will get a prospect package of Dustin Fowler, Jorge Mateo, and James Caprillion. Yu Darvish will be traded to the Dodgers, and that is a big-time prospect package headed back to the Rangers. Indians thrived on their bullpen last year, and they added another arm for their playoff run this year in Joe Smith from the Blue Jays. And in the only game of interest, it's the Blue Jays taking on the White Sox tonight from the rate. The pitching matchup is Marco Estrada versus James Shields. And that, my friends, is the Sports Center Update.
Thank you, Austin. Hey, don't forget Houlihan's and the iHotel. They want to invite you out to patio play, local music, live local music every Thursday evening this summer. They also have great drink specials I want to tell you about. Since it's only Monday, we'll get you figured out on who's playing this Thursday. But how about some of these drink specials? Tonight, Carp, half-price domestic draft beer at Houlihan's at the iHotel. Tuesday, how about a half-price bottle of wine?
I'm down. Is it Boone's Farm?
No.
Probably nicer than that.
Yes. What is it? Pinot Grigio?
Pinot Grigio. We also have Merlot.
Yeah.
There's also, of course, Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Among many others.
Pinot Grigio is the only wine I've ever had.
You know, Dave Matthews has a wine. He has a vineyard.
He does?
He is worth like $200 million.
Of course he does. I mean, that's
ridiculous.
Thursdays, $4.95, martinis. Friday, $4 Long Island iced teas, glass, $6 Long Island iced tea pitchers.
Those Long Island iced teas.
Oh, they'll get you in trouble.
Yeah, you'll have a good time.
You just have 1 or 2 of those, all right? Because all of a sudden you'll be like, woo. And Sunday, $4 Bloody Mary pints. That's Houlihan's at the iHotel tonight. Half-price domestic draft beer. Getting off work, want to do it? Head over to Houlihan's at the iHotel.
Good summer night to do that.
Yeah.
It is the Tay and J Show. Mike Carpenter in for Jeremy Warner, who was going to join us now, but practice is running a little bit late.
He's already big-timing us?
He is big-timing us. Actually, I should say Lovie Smith didn't care to think enough about our needs.
You know,
when scheduling this whole football practice thing. So now we get, basically, we got to play second fiddle. We got to wait around and figure out their thing.
I think to myself, we spend probably 50% of our show every day on Illinois. And for a guy like Lovie to do that, to not even think about us.
The least he could do when scheduling training camp
is buy half-price domestic beer at Houlihan's tonight for you and
I guess he could do that, too.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Wouldn't it be cool to have some beers with Lovie Smith? I don't know. I tell you what, man, and I hope, I don't know how this is going to sound.
Do you think do you think it'd be interesting? Like, honestly, let's say you went and sat down with Lovie Smith for... You're just going to sit down for an hour and drink some beer at Houlihan's.
The question is, could we get his guard down?
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, number one, it would be cool because you're drinking a beer with Lovie Smith. Well, number one, it'd be cool because you're drinking beer. Number two, it'd be cool because you're drinking beer with Lovie Smith. But do you think he would, do you think you'd just be amazed at how cool he is? He'd just be like, so, Carp.
He would say, okay, so let's say I asked him about his dismissal from the Bears.
Yeah.
He would respond. His tone would be the same.
Yeah, it'd be calculated.
But he would say something very sharp and pointed about, they screwed me.
Yeah.
But he'd do it much more eloquently than that.
Yeah. And you'd be done with your hour session and be like, man.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I don't know if I had to pick a guy over the athletic department to have a beer with and just chat with if I would pick Lovie.
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be cool to have a beer with Lovie, but I agree.
Again, I think
that'd be a good segment one day.
Hires are sometimes a reaction to who you had before.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if you would have gotten Lovie, no matter who the previous coach was, go get Lovie.
Yeah, right.
But it's all the better when Tim Beckman had been the coach.
Yes.
Bill Cubitt was fine, but it's just nice to have a guy that you don't have to worry about what he says.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm fine with boring in that regard.
No doubt.
I'll take it.
No doubt. I think a segment on the show one day should be, what coach would you want to have a beer with the most? And we rank the coaches about who, maybe we don't put Justin Spring high and he gets mad at us. Or maybe he's the guy I want to have a beer with.
He'd be up there. He's very interesting.
He totally is interesting.
I'm trying to think of other ones. I think Janet Rayfield would be a good person to grab a beer with, because I would love to pick someone's brain about soccer.
Something I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why Janet would be perfect to have a beer with.
Who else do we have?
Well, I mean, you got Hartlib, you've got Brad Dancer, you got Coach Heff. I mean, we'll do that one day. We'll do that one day.
We had a beer with Coach Heff.
We did, yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah.
You talk about a guy that's cool, because we were tailgating, and of course his daughter Allie, now she graduated, right, from Iowa?
I think she did.
Or if not, she's still there. But when we went over to cover the Illinois-Iowa game 2 years ago, right, and we tailgated, they were very nice. The Heffernans were very nice to offer a tailgate spot to you, Jeremy, and I.
They went to school there, I believe, in Iowa. That's where they met, and that's where Allie went, and that's got to be interesting to be the coach here.
Oh, I know.
And be an alum of that program up there.
I asked him.
Which is, I think, the best in the country, historically.
I asked him that day. I said, all right, Coach, I'm putting you on the spot. It's just you and I out here, man. Who you rooting for today? And he's like, it's not even close, man. It's Illinois.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, sweet.
See, I missed that when you asked him that.
Yeah. I think
that was a fun. that was a
awesome.
fun weekend.
That was
man.
a great day.
Okay, so Illinois is going to be up at Iowa again this year, and it's the first Saturday in October.
Are we going again?
Well, I think it's kind of dependent on how we do. Now, we could fall in that trap like 2 years ago, where if they get a home win against Nebraska.
Yeah.
Because that was exactly how it went. They beat Nebraska at home. We already had the Iowa thing planned out.
Yes.
I don't think we thought Illinois would be 4-1 entering that game.
I don't think so. What other road trips are possible this year? I know Florida. I still want to go to that.
To South Florida?
I still want to go down to that.
I don't think I could swing that. But,
okay.
If you're down there, you could pop on the show.
Yeah, well, definitely. Why couldn't Jeremy and I just... Well, no, it's a Friday night is the game. Yeah. So you'd have... Okay, so let's say that one's ruled out, because who wouldn't want to go to Florida to do the Tay and J Show down there?
At
or the
Minnesota
Tay and Carp
on my birthday, but
No.
that's a haul.
I don't want to go to Minneapolis.
At Purdue on November 4th. I mean, whatever. We could. You know what? Honestly, I may do that just simply for the fact that I'm missing 2 home games.
Well, maybe we do that then. Maybe we go over Friday and do our show there. We spend the night in West Lafayette.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
And I can't think that hotels would be... let's just put it this way.
No.
The demand for Purdue football probably at its lowest point in a while.
We could probably just send out feelers and somebody would just put us up on their couch over there.
Let's make a TBD on that one.
Okay.
Because we probably don't want to go to Ohio State.
No. I don't want to go to
Columbus. Point.
Although
I'm sure it's a beautiful stadium.
Only time I've been to Columbus and the shoe was Kurt Kittner's, and that's when they won the Big Ten that year.
I remember.
So I am 1-0 at Ohio State.
Do you remember the news that broke the night before?
Yeah, Steve Bellisari was that
DUI.
His name? Had a DUI.
Yeah, I remember that night Illinois opened up their basketball season at home against Gonzaga.
Nice.
And I think it was Bill Self's second year.
And it was 58 degrees. That's how your memory is. It
was kind of nice out, wasn't it?
It is one of the most amazing things that I've ever...
No, but it was a nice day, I think it was.
It was beautiful
and
the next morning.
My aunt and uncle were down from Iowa for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting and watching the game. It was a Saturday morning, I think at 11 a.m. start.
Yeah.
And we get McDonald's for lunch. We were talking some McDonald's earlier in the show. And back then, man, I remember this sort of nostalgic thing with a quarter pounder with cheese meal.
Did you get a Happy Meal?
No, I got a quarter pounder.
I didn't know how old were you then?
I would have been the Sugar Bowl year. I was a freshman in high school.
Oh, okay. So you were a little bit past the Happy Meal.
I remember being so angry. Our homecoming was the same day that Illinois got smoked at Michigan. And I was so angry about that. But no, that Ohio State game, and then the team came back, and some people actually met them at the stadium. We stopped by just to see what it was like.
That was so cool. I've said that story 100 times, and I'll continue to say it, and I apologize because people that have heard it are just switching their channel. But I was down on the field with Chris Widlick. He and I always walked around together, and Ohio State scored to get within 4 points. And that place, there's 100,000 people, and you're down. I cannot explain to you the noise.
It's cavernous there.
Yes, when you're on the field, I was right next to of course, the Illinois players, and it was just going, just this. You couldn't hear. And I looked at Widlick, and I'm like, I am so nervous right now. And he starts laughing. Chris is like the funniest dude I've ever met. Mm-hmm. And he's like, why are you nervous? And I'm like, well, come on, you understand what I mean.
It'd be a big win.
He just started laughing. He goes, I get it, Lon. He goes, you're the biggest Illinois fan of any of us, any of us media guys. And I was sitting there just almost shaking, going, oh, my goodness. And I looked down, And I know people have heard this story or are tired of it, but if you haven't, it's so cool. I looked down and Kurt Kittner, who's about ready to go out and lead his team, only up for 100,000 people hating you, is laughing with one of the trainers or somebody.
Yeah.
They're just, literally, he's belly laughing with them. And he grabs his helmet, he runs on the field, leads us on a touchdown. And I just remember thinking to myself, there are so many differences between Kurt Kittner and I. Number one, he's a college quarterback. I didn't even play high school football. So you get the physical differences.
Yeah.
The mental difference of me not even playing in a game and being scared to death. And I look down and the starting quarterback for Illinois, who's trying to win a Big Ten conference and did that year, is laughing, belly laughing with his team down 4 or up 4. You remember not Ty Dothard. What was the kid's name? Ty Myers, I think.
Yeah, who had the interception return for a touchdown.
And he's from Ohio. He dove into the end zone. That was one of the coolest games. So is there anything else? So Columbus, no.
Yeah, that's it for this year.
So it's either Iowa or Purdue.
Let's look at Purdue. Iowa's tough.
I think we do Purdue.
Okay.
Are they back in Indiana at all anytime soon?
Next year, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, we don't play them every year now.
No, we don't. That's right. Let's do a Purdue. Spend the night on a Friday night in West Lafayette.
Okay, so thinking of the timing of the season, that Ohio State win, I don't think we necessarily... No, we did not clinch the Big Ten title. We did that the next Thursday on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was there.
Against Northwestern. But you know what game was really fun? And there were a lot of them that year, actually. This run right here. Okay, so you lose to Michigan.
Okay.
You beat Minnesota at home, and that was a big win because...
Was that Brewster?
No. This would have still been Glenn Mason.
Yeah, Glenn Mason.
So 2001, you lose to Michigan on the road 45-20. It wasn't close.
No, it wasn't.
And then you come back home, and the fear was a hangover game like the year before.
Yes.
After the fumble game, you went up to the Metrodome and got spanked.
I remember that.
You beat Minnesota 32-14. Easy. Then you go to Indiana 35-14. Easy. The next week, Wisconsin at home, homecoming. That was the big one. You go on the road to Purdue, and I think it was 4 interceptions in the first half from Kurt Kittner.
Wow.
And yet I think you still led 13-10.
Isn't that crazy?
You know, and then you just smoked him.
That
in
was
the second
you
half.
just had a feeling like, all right, we should be down in this game. We're still winning. That's how much better we were.
And then November 10th, Penn State comes to town. Not a great Penn State team, but they had won a couple games in a row. They were feeling pretty good about themselves. Illinois is 15th in the nation. And I don't remember that. I'm reading this from Wikipedia now.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
But November 10th, 2:30 ABC game. I think John Saunders made it on the call. It was a big deal.
John Saunders.
And what I love about those games that time of year, if it starts at 2:30, at halftime, dusk is starting to settle.
Nice.
And it gets this kind of epic feel to it.
Oh, yeah.
And that chill is in the air.
When you're watching the game on TV and there's 4 shadows of each player.
Yeah. Exactly.
That kind of, you're just like, oh yeah.
And I think Eugene Wilson had a big interception that game.
Yeah.
And Illinois had to go on a final drive to win it.
Isn't that amazing?
And they did. I remember walking out of that stadium, and Illinois was 8-1.
Wow.
And I said, what the 8-1?
Yeah, what is going on here?
What is going on? Because the year before, it felt like that was going to be the team
crazy.
that did it. And then they struggled. So it was such a redemptive season after 2000. And
of course, you win Thanksgiving Day. And I was with WAND at the time, and we took 2 cameras that day to capture it. I wanted to capture the Big Ten title if they were going to beat Northwestern. So I had a cameraman there. Our best photog was there who was working Thanksgiving, and I appreciate him doing that to this day, and me. And we each had different angles, different shots we were doing because we were going to do this big story on Illinois football winning a Big Ten title. And at the very end, we looked at each other and I said, as soon as this ends, I'm going to get in Turner's face. Not to get I don't mean that bad. Not to get I just want to get reaction.
Ron?
I just want to get reaction to Turner.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I am in the middle of
a melee.
30 Illinois football players jumping up and down in pads, and I have a camera. And I'm just like, guys, I'm going to die here. I'm seriously like, this is not going to be good. And I think Mike McGee, was the guy that kind of grabbed me by the shirt and led me out of the pile. And I was like, thanks, Mike. He was a Springfield kid. I was like, thank you, Mike.
2 days later.
It was so cool.
2 days later, Jim Tressel, in his first year at Ohio State, pulls off an upset win at the Big House.
Unbelievable.
See, you clinched a share.
Yes.
But in my mind, I was like, that's cool.
Yeah,
but Michigan beat us.
It's 84 is cool, but you still...
Yeah, and then Michigan
title.
loses. It's like we don't have to worry about it.
Right.
They were 6-2. We were 7-1.
How cool is that?
A little trip down memory lane.
Hey, before we get to Jeremy Warner, who's going to join us here from Illinois training camp. I don't know what Harry's doing. The Big Ten Conference announced the opponents, the schedule for Big Ten play, and I want to just go through this again because we kind of rushed through this twice. So if you and I can go through this again and just kind of give our thoughts on this. The Fighting Illini will play at home this year, and only one time these teams. Iowa, so you don't go to Iowa, Carp, and you know that. Normally it's they beat us there, we beat them here. And that's a pretty good Iowa team that got better with a lot of freshmen last year.
Yeah.
You only get, or I'm sorry, again, these are just at home. Iowa, Maryland, Penn State, which I think is a bonus, and Purdue.
Those 4 teams on the road, those would all be tough games.
I totally agree.
So you know what? That's a break.
That is a break. Now, away, these are the teams that Illinois goes to but does not get them here at the State Farm Center. You got Michigan away.
Rough.
Minnesota away.
Rough.
Northwestern away.
Interesting.
And Ohio State away, which should be a win.
Yeah.
Should be a win. And then the teams you play twice. I'm going to throw the big one out first. Michigan State. That'll be tough to beat them here or there.
If you do get the home win, that could solidify a team from bubble the tournament.
No doubt. I mean, they are the class of the Big Ten to me. And then you've got Wisconsin. You play twice. We never went at the Kohl Center. Illinois
Harry
never
looked this up, by the way.
When
Last
was
time
the
Illinois
last
beat
time?
Wisconsin.
Jack Ingram?
January 2nd, 2011. It was the Illinois team that made the tournament, lost to Kansas in the second round.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It will be 7 years.
I know.
By the time Illinois finally beats
So
Wisconsin.
again, the teams you play twice, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and then these 3 teams, Indiana, Nebraska, Rutgers. Not one of those teams scare me this year.
Not at all.
I mean, I know Indiana's always hard to beat in Indiana. It doesn't matter who their coach is, doesn't matter who they are. They're going to be tough to beat. But I'm going to roll through those one more time. So the teams Illinois basketball plays twice. Michigan State, Wisconsin, Indiana, Nebraska, and Rutgers. The teams that they play on the road only. Michigan, Minnesota, Northwestern, Ohio State. That's tough. There's probably 3 losses there.
Well, Northwestern's interesting because that's not going to be home court.
That could be 2
that's
of 4.
Going to be
that's true.
That's a neutral court game.
Because they're playing that neutral thing.
I think it actually works out in Illinois' favor that in this case...
You're going to have more fans probably.
Yeah, sure. You're going to outnumber Northwestern
That's a
fans
good call. That's a good call on that. So maybe you only lose 2 of 4 there. And then the games that Illinois plays at home, so in other words, they do not have to go play at these places, is Iowa, Maryland, Penn State, and Purdue. You don't lose at Purdue. You've got a Penn State team that's getting better. Maryland is always a chore to win at, and Iowa's, you never know. I mean, if you look at the records, they beat us all the time there. Now, lately, it's been a little different. Thank you. Who was the kid that hit the 3? Ickey?
John Ickey, that's right.
John Ickey. So there you go. So, you know what? All in all, I don't think that's a bad schedule for the Fighting Illini.
Not a bad break for Illinois. I think it all kind of evens out because you could switch a few things around, and I'd probably have the same feeling about it. And it's always tough to go around and say win, loss.
I know it.
Things are going to play out. Who would have thought Minnesota would be good last year? Maybe they take a step back for all I know. But the Nebraskas and the Rutgers of the world, you need to go 4 wins there.
You do.
You got them. You need to keep those. And then hold serve against those 4 home only. Iowa, Maryland, Penn State, and Purdue at home. If this team is good, or right around the point of being good, those should be games that you win if you are a tournament team.
Are we ready for Jeremy?
He's going to call us. So should we do Would You Rather at the very tail end of the show?
Yeah, let's close with that.
We'll
Is
close
that cool?
with Would You Rather.
We'll ask Jeremy. I mean, I've got a few questions for Jeremy, but it's only day 1 here at training camp, so we'll get an idea on not only that, but also Kalen Tolson and Jartavius Martin, 2 commits that have committed to Illinois from the state of Florida. So we're going to take a break. We'll get Jeremy Warner on the horn here in a second, and then, of course, we will finish off the show with Harry Black's much acclaimed Would You Rather. It is the Tay and J Show.
Napa know-how. There are lots of amazing cars on the road, but perhaps none more amazing than the paid-off car. It may not be pretty, but the price is right. Heck, if you keep that thing running, it'll actually start paying you. Because with Napa Rewards, for every $100 you spend, you'll get $5 off. So keep your car running longer, stronger with Napa Rewards and watch the savings start rolling in. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa Know-How.
Home is where the art is. It's where every day begins and ends. It's a place for big occasions and small. Home is where stories unfold and where they are told. We may leave, but we always come home again. First Financial Bank can help you achieve the home of your dreams. Talk with one of our friendly loan officers and we'll help you find the loan that's right for you. Consider it our way of saying welcome home. from First Financial Bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Spring into your new home with Busey. With free pre-qualifications, you can search for the perfect house knowing all of your options. From a new pool to that amazing new patio, let our award-winning team of associates make your dream of home ownership a reality. Visit Busey.com to apply in minutes or stop by one of our many convenient locations today. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's Lante from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
Escape to Legends Golf Course in Champaign for your next round of golf. This well-maintained 9-hole course sits nestled off Staley Road in Champaign. Legends hosts a top-quality range and facility to work on your game or an afternoon of family entertainment. Wanting to take your game to the next level? Legends offers club and fittings, PGA certified lessons from Greg Flessner. Legends Golf Course. Take a swing with them off Staley Road in Champaign.
U of I Community Credit Union for campus and community.
Celebrate with 0%, 50,000 bonus points, and 5 times points. The University of Illinois is celebrating 150 years, and the U of I Community Credit Union is getting in on the celebration with this exclusive offer. Now through September 30th, open a new Illini Visa and watch the advantages roll in, like 0%. That's right, 0% on all purchases until May 2018 for qualified applicants. Plus, everyone who opens a new Illini Visa rewards card could earn up to 50,000 bonus points. Use those points to purchase trips, gift cards, electronics, and more. But that's not all. All reward cardholders will earn 5 times points on U of I purchases. Apply for your card today at IlliniCard.org. That's IlliniCard.org. Celebrate the University of Illinois and get rewarded, because no one cheers louder for the community than the U of I Community Credit Union.
U of I Community Credit Union for campus and community.
Diane Ducey here to tell you about Mobile Meter. When I'm playing taxi to my kiddos, I no longer have to worry about parking tickets and loose change. I downloaded the Mobile Meter app to ease my parking frustrations. You should download the Mobile Meter app today. It's available on iTunes, on your phone app store, or at mobilemeter.us.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%. APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lance, Mike Carpenter. It is time to head to the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line. We did that earlier with Mark Grody. Good stuff with him. Austin Berkland came in, helped us break down the Cubbies trade. They get Alex Avila and Justin Wilson. And Harry Black in the 4 o'clock hour, breaking down what it means to be at training camp. He's a former walk-on at the University of Illinois. Right now at training camp, Jeremy Warner, host of the Tay and J Show, joins us. Jeremy, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. Lon, one thing I noticed is we were talking about Connect FM the other day. I still have our number dialed in as Connect FM on my phone.
You're kidding me.
No, I don't know why. Is it because I miss it? Is it, or I'm just lazy? I don't understand.
I'm going to go with the first, that you miss it and it's just nostalgia for you. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
All right, day one, you got kind of an overview for us on day one?
Yeah, they got this new setup here right next to the softball field. So it's actually right across from Florida Avenue Residence Hall, which Carp would know, right, kind of by Lincoln and Kirby Avenue.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a nice setup. It's kind of almost more training campy. Kind of reminds you a little bit more of Rantoul, but you're right on campus. So they have the guys bus over. They're staying at a hotel. Most people don't know that. They stay at a hotel during training camp, and then they bus over on some buses to the locker room, and they get all padded up and then come over on some buses. But it was a good setup. I mean, first couple of days, it's just helmet, shorts, no shoulder pads, just a lot of walkthrough to start. I think they did do about 45 minutes of walkthrough. But that's what a lot of these first couple of days are, is just kind of getting some mental reps in, and then they do a little bit of 7-on-7 and a little bit of team stuff later on. So, I can't sit here today and go, oh, it's a 4-win team, or oh, it's a surprise 6-win team today. We get to see a little bit of the personnel, see where they line up, and get a look at what these guys look like up close.
Here's my one question. Is Chase Crouch and Mikey Dudek healthy going into day 2?
They are. They look good today.
Yes!
That was the big story, was seeing Mikey out there. Even the defense, he caught a pass early in 7-on-7. He caught a pass and started running away from the defense a little bit. And even the defenders were going, yeah, go for it, Mike.
Nice.
Something like that. So even those guys are really excited to see him back on the field. He caught a couple passes today. Chase did look really comfortable with his receivers during 7-on-7. But once they got to team drills, Mikey sat out, and they had a lot of walk-on wide receivers out there. But once they got into 11-on-11, it's a little different when you got an entire defense out there. So Chase's accuracy will be the big question. His consistency as a passer will be the big question. But it sure was nice seeing Chase and Mikey out on the field.
The voice Jeremy Warner joining us on the Tay and J Show. I saw a tweet of yours just imagining a roster with 3 straight classes like this group of freshmen. That's a really competitive rising Big Ten team. Was there a moment that made you feel compelled, like, you know what, I'm seeing something different than in past years?
Yeah, it's just the way they look. It's just an eye test, guys. And I'm not trying to say that, this freshman class is going to come in here and they're all going to play defense. It's not that. It's just, this looks like some of Zook's recruiting classes, right? I mean, these look like Big Ten recruits. You see a guy like Larry Boyd, who was with the first team right tackle today, boys.
Wow.
Garrick's probably not going to mess around with him. There's some recruiting advantages that could come from giving a guy really playing time like that, but he looks the part. I mean, he's a big, strong, physical player, and he showed that today. Now, he's going to have probably a lot of ups and downs this year, and he's still got to win that job, but that shows you that kid can play right away. Mike Epstein looked really good in the running back drills. He looks like he'll probably be that third running back in that group with Reggie Corbin and Kendrick Foster. Carmani Green and Kendall Smith, we're getting a lot of reps with the wide receivers. There's just guys up and down this roster. I mean, the defensive linemen, the defensive backs, Tony Adams looked really good today. There's just, they look the part. There's a speed, there's a length, there's a physicality that we haven't seen from some of the classes recently.
Kalen Tolson is a name that committed. Is it Kalen, by the way? Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
okay.
Kalen Tolson.
Kalen Tolson from St. Petersburg, Florida. He is a 3-star kid that had a lot of good Power 5 offers, including Michigan, Michigan State, Louisville. Outside linebacker, are we looking at a speedster that's coming in next year? What are his biggest assets?
I love this kid, guys. If he were 6'2", I think he'd be a 4-star. And I think schools like Michigan, who did offer, but they weren't pressing for him late. I know Michigan State wasn't pressing for him right now, but those schools thought he was good enough to play at some point at their university. He's 6 foot, about 205 pounds right now. He's a perfect, ideal fit at weak side linebacker in Lovie Smith's scheme. And the name that Kalen said, I asked him, did they bring up this name with you? And he said, absolutely. It's one of the first names they mentioned was Derek Brooks. Now,
nice.
I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Fame player, but that kind of mold, right? I mean, 6 foot, got sideline to sideline speed. He's physical. He's really smart, instinctual linebacker. He's one of the best gets they've gotten in this class so far. So I just think fit-wise, he's one of the best they've gotten. And that's a position that they have some guys right now, but they need to up the speed at that position. And Kalen Tolson really does that. I think he's a nice, complete package. Just doesn't have the length of some top prospects, but he had a really good offer list, one of the best offer lists of the commits so far.
You said speed. Yes, please. How about Jartavius Martin from Florida, safety? What do we got on him, Jeremy?
Yeah, didn't have big-time offers, guys, but when we talk about evaluation, this is one of them I really like. He's 6 foot, about 6'3" with his haircut. He's got this big mohawk.
I like it.
But no, he's a good athlete. He's a nice fit at their free safety. He's a rangy kid that plays really good in zone coverage. Lovie Smith loves to play that deep safety where he just kind of patrols the field and has instincts and goes for the ball. That's what Jartavius has. He has a nose for the ball. He's a little thin right now, but so is Stanley Green. And that's kind of who I compare him to a little bit. I think he's got a little bit more range than Stanley, but I think this was a good evaluation. So even though he doesn't have any other Power 5 offers, I thought this was a good evaluation of a guy that kind of fits what they want at that free safety position.
Jeremy, last question for you. We got a text on the text line, and there's some other people asking about this on Twitter as well. Ricky Smalling was not at practice today. Any update on his status?
Yeah, we should know a lot more tomorrow. He wasn't at practice today. From what I understand, guys, he was a kid that had academic questions all along, and I can tell you during the summer there were people outside the program saying, is Ricky really going to be there? Well, then he enrolled, and he was participating in summer classes. But I always harken back to Trenar Davis, guys. He was here for a summer, and then he didn't pass the clearinghouse or the University of Illinois admission, or it was the clearinghouse, the NCAA clearinghouse. So there's still things he's got to go through. But I can tell you, Illinois seems pretty confident that he'll be here tomorrow, that he'll be ready to go. But obviously, that's a big one. It's not answered yet, but it seems like from the people I've talked to within Illinois that they're confident that Ricky Smalling will be a part of this team.
Jeremy Werner, well done, buddy. IlliniInquirer.com, future host of the Jeremy Werner Show. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitter, at @JWernerScout. Always fun, my friend. We'll catch up again soon. Wednesday, you're going to be back in studio, right?
I will, yes.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, see you, boys.
Be safe. Jeremy Werner joining us, training camp day 1, Illinois football. It is time.
Should we do it?
Now, we want to everybody knows that you and I, starting August 21st, Jeremy's going to have the Jeremy Werner Show from 9 to 11 a.m. You and I will have Tay and Carp from 4 to 6. In fact, our show would have been done for 54 minutes already. That's crazy. So what we're going to incorporate into that is a lot of Harry Black, but also what his favorite thing to do is called Would You Rather. Harry Black's Would You Rather, and you actually have a song for this.
We do have a theme song for
We have
it,
a theme, all right.
It's time for Harry Black's Would You Rather.
All right. Oh, and the crowd.
People love Harry Black. What can you say?
I agree. I didn't know there was going to be an applause for that. That's awesome. Harry, what's up, buddy?
All right. I got one for you guys.
Okay.
Would you give up your favorite alcoholic beverage, so Bud Light, I'm assuming.
Bud Light.
And Carp, what would that be for you?
Captain Diet.
All right.
Diet.
Yes.
Would you give up that for a year if it meant that one of your favorite pro sports teams won a championship in the next 5 years, and after that first year, you forgot about the deal and the championship still was meaningful to you?
So, in other words, the championship would not be cheapened by the fact we gave this thing up.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I get rid of the music?
Oh, I don't know.
They
Your
make
call.
it louder.
I didn't know how long it lasts.
Yeah, it goes for a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's bed music.
So would I give up Bud Light to make sure that one of my teams won either a World Series, Stanley Cup, Super Bowl,
Or
college
NBA
championship?
No college championship.
Oh, it's just
no
professional.
Illini, has to be pro sports.
The Cardinals have won World Series in my life.
Yeah. The Blues have not won a Stanley Cup.
They haven't won a Stanley Cup game.
Neither the Arizona Cardinals have not won a Super Bowl either.
Can you switch the alcoholic beverage with another? Could I say, well, I can't have Captain Diet, but I could have
if I give up Bud Light, like in other words, could Carp start drinking Bud Light and I could start drinking Captain?
Or could I do whiskey and diet?
Or do we have to give up alcohol
We have
altogether?
to be sober for a year, and that means a professional team.
Man, we would look good. I would. Speaking of that, you look good. I would look great.
Look good, but your soul will just be hurting so much.
You know what?
Or, Lon, if it's really that hard, we can go no cherry sours for 2 years.
No, let's stick to the Bud Light. People out there that know me.
Basically, no drinking for a year. Your team wins a title.
In the next 5 years, yes.
Guys, the older I get, The importance really isn't there as much as going home and sitting on the deck and having a beer. No, I'm out.
Yeah.
I would not give up Bud Light.
I mean, the Yankees spoiled me. And by the way, if I don't take this, does that mean they definitely will not win one on their own?
No, it just means that
they still could.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the chance.
Yankees are
because the Cardinals are going to win one anyway,
Exactly.
probably.
I'm going to take the chance.
Yankees are going to win in the next 5 years.
I'm taking the chance?
I'm taking a chance.
Okay. All right. I agree.
That's Harry Black's Would You Rather.
I like it. Harry, thank you, sir. Well done. All right. I want to thank Harry Black, Jeremy Warner, Mark Grody, and on and on and on. Austin Berkland, also Maddie and Jacob, everybody. We got to get out of here in 3 seconds, so I'm signing off quick.
Salute.
Carp, well done, buddy. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Tay and J Show.
Take advantage of a great summer special for braces at Illini Smiles Dental Care on Springfield Avenue in Champaign and at Angel Smiles Dental Center in Rantoul. Schedule an appointment today for a free consultation for braces with our orthodontic experts. Illini Smiles and Angel Smiles will present an individualized treatment plan based on your personal needs to give you the care that you deserve. Not only does Illini Smiles and Angel Smiles take your insurance, they're also in network with many PPO plans, which means lower costs for you. Plus, save up to $600 off orthodontic services if you start your treatment before September 1st. Don't need braces? Schedule a back-to-school checkup for just $50, which includes a school exam and x-rays. In Champaign, call Illini Smiles Dental Care at 356-3335. Or in Rantoul, call Angel Smiles Dental Center at 892-8868. Angel Smiles in Rantoul also takes the medical card for most dental services for children 21 years and younger. Take advantage of these two great specials. Save up to $600 off braces if you start before September 1st. Or a back-to-school exam and x-rays for just $50 at Illini Smiles Dental Care and Angel Smiles Dental Center.
We alarm our houses. And we alarm our cars. But when it comes to your personal information, it can be tough to know when something isn't right. That's where Discover Card can help. Now, we'll send you an alert if we find your social security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. And this service is free for card members. Just sign up online. It's our way of looking out for you, not just your account. Learn more at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
Oh, hey, hi, hello there. It's me, your air conditioner. You can call me AC if you want, but Mr. Conditioner is my dad's name. Okay, listen, you may have noticed that I'm using a lot of energy right now, and that's why you need to call an expert. Yep, the experts can give me a precision tune-up, so you'll save up to 30% on energy bills, and I won't have to work so hard, which is great because I'm about to pass out.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save $41 off an AC Precision Tune-Up. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home.